Ah, we go. Right. Hello and welcome to another edition of See You Next Thursday. Today we're just doing a transfer window special. We're just going to talk about the Premier League transfers today. Who's gone where, what we think of them, if we even know anything about them, which, uh, well, I'm not actually sure we will. Should we, oh, sorry, first off I should introduce me, Edwan, and Seamus is with us today. Just the two of us,
Howdy.
I'm afraid.
No, sorry. It's not howdy. It can't be howdy. Top of the morning.
That's better. Yeah,
Top of the morning, lads.
speak proper Irish, mate. Speak proper Irish. Irish, sorry. Oi. Don't say it all night, do you?
I have to speak Irish.
Uh,
It doesn't matter what you think.
Oh, he's showing off now. Right, so should we start with Arsenal at the beginning? We'll do it alphabetically, shall we?
Okay, whatever floats your boat.
Well, not really Arsenal, but you know. So first off, we'll do the outs first because there's not a lot to them, so it's nice and easy. They've just Guendouzi, Mavropanos, and Lacazette. That's it for their outs. Obviously, Guendouzi was out on loan anyway, so they won't really miss him.
With an option. He was out with an option that would turn to obligation under certain conditions, and by the looks of it, he had a very good season for Olympique Marseille.
Yeah, well, they liked him, so he stayed. Obviously, they'd preferred to take Saliba back as well, and they still haven't given up hope of that. So people watch out for
One
that
of
one.
these one of these days, we have to
We'll do a pod
start
without
banning
mentioning him.
mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to ban the mention of Saliba
You love it. Right, anyway, so Mavropanos, I mean, I don't even remember him playing for them, to be honest.
because he was out on loan at Stuttgart.
Yeah, and he's sold to Stuttgart now. And Lacazette, I think they'll miss him. I know he doesn't score many goals, but he works so hard for the team.
Well,
I think he's
speaking
gonna.
of someone who doesn't score many goals,
Yeah, the incoming they've
yeah,
brought
there's
in
a side,
changes.
yeah,
Hasn't he got the worst
yeah.
shot to goal ratio in the whole Premier League for like the last few seasons? Like, I'm
No,
sure I
but
read,
he's Jesus, so he can do anything.
and obviously the Arsenal fans seem really happy with the signing, which I find bizarre. I don't understand it. I don't know what they've seen in him. Someone needs to explain that to me. I mean, if he's so good, how could he not get in it as a striker? You know, he's a striker, and he couldn't get in a team that didn't have a striker. They preferred to play without one. He's that, or put him on the wing. I mean, how is he any good? I don't understand that. Every time I watch him, I just think, oh, he works hard. You know, you just find yourself trying to make excuses for him. Well, at least he tries. You know, and that's, but you don't actually see any quality there, do you? He's got a
So
nice touch, to be fair.
he's a good player. I think he's a good player, but he's only good. Like he doesn't have any qualities that are stand out.
He's not Premier League level, is how I see it.
What you're saying is he wouldn't do well at an Everton or a Fulham.
No, I think he needs.
Come on, there are,
If he went to something else,
I
they
think
don't give him the chances, and he doesn't
I
score enough
think
goals.
Arsenal battling for
Mm,
European
they need
places.
better.
That's about his level. I would say
No,
that's about his level.
I think he'd be better. I think he's a Bundesliga or try one of the weaker leagues where they can't defend, which is why I mentioned the Bundesliga. I think that's his level because he needs a lot of chances to score, and I just don't see him getting enough at Arsenal because they're not that good. I mean, can you?
No, he's not the only guy.
Yeah. So, what do you think of Vieira?
Patrick.
Probably the better. Probably the
Patrick
more
had
used.
this. No, but I'm like it's a joke, but yeah, we don't know much about Fabio Vieira. We can talk about Patrick if we want.
We may as well probably know more about Patrick than him, let's be honest. I don't know much about
You
Fabio Vieira.
should be the one. You should be the one that can maybe bring some insight, because at least you guys played Porto in the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember him at all. He didn't stand out in the slightest. That's the point. In fact, I'm trying to remember.
No, but my question with the whole Vieira move is why? Why, when you have other necessities in the team? Why?
Well, that's
It's
the
the
big
one
question.
position where they have. It's the one position where they have adequate cover.
Yeah, they would. I mean, it just suggests that he's not happy with the players he's got there. But he signed, what's his face? He signed Odegaard, and
he was the guy who extended Emil Smith Rowe's contract last season, wasn't it?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was all.
If he didn't like it, then they could have sold him last season for about 30, 40, however much Aston Villa were about to offer them. They could have sold them if they wanted.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand this move. So it just seems another one of those bizarre moves where they're buying a player they don't need. I mean, gosh, the thing is with Vieira as well, I was thinking about it, he was playing for Porto when it was Diaz was playing for
Luis
them.
Diaz?
Yeah, that was the same team. And I remember thinking, that this is what I remember thinking about Porto, is not one of them players were even close to being on the level of Diaz. I mean, okay, he's a special talent, so that's not really saying a lot. But what I meant by that is, when you watch them, you thought if they just had anybody, any decent quality alongside him, they'd actually have been much better side. But the rest of them were really poor, and that includes obviously Vieira must have been playing. I don't remember his name. I don't remember him from the game, but I just remember every other player on their team I was not impressed with at all. Just Diaz was the only. He was like head and shoulders above anybody by a massive.
Maybe
margin.
he was injured or missing the game.
I don't know. That's what I was wondering. To be fair to him, did he play or was he just as bad as the rest of the team? Because I can't imagine they looked at it. He's that bad. But they otherwise.
Well, he does come with good reputation, at least.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's an 18-year-old just breaking through. He is 22.
Yeah, some players are slow developers though. So.
No, but I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, like, surely he must have done some things for Porto. It's not like he comes in for cheap, for let's say 5, 10, 15.
Yeah, 30 odd million. It's decent fee.
That's a decent outlay, especially for Arsenal.
And especially
I know people don't like to admit, but it's Arsenal. They don't have that much
funds.
funds.
They didn't need him either. That's just, I still can't get my head around why they bought him at all.
Well, if they bought him to play on the wings, then I would say why not just buy someone who plays on the wings?
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds a much more sane idea.
Actually, yeah. That doesn't seem to appeal to the likes of Arteta, though, does it? Putting players in positions where they actually play. He seems to think.
He's not normal. He's not a normal people. He's not like us normal people. He's a genius.
Oh yeah, that's
everybody says so. He's a genius.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, but I've not seen any sign of it. I would have thought a genius would have done a bit better with the Arsenal team last season, considering. But there you go. They don't look well coached.
Well, I still think, like I said before as well, I still think there must be a big sale in the offing for them, for Arsenal, because come on, they need someone to fetch some money in as well. Because who else are they gonna sell? Nobody. They don't have much big departures from them, so that's not a good thing.
If you look at their squad, they've really not got much of a squad to sell players, to be fair.
There's only one standout candidate.
Saka.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you really don't want to lose a player that can play in so many positions when you've got a small squad, do you? I can play them so well as think it's an odd one. They look to be honest. I don't see that they've really improved very much. I mean, they must have done because they've actually brought in players for the first team, and the players they've lost, only one of them ever played. So, you know, you'd think it must be an improvement, but I just don't see that it's. I mean, they brought in the young winger from Brazil, the one that was supposed to have a deal with Wolverhampton Wanderers that just turned out not to have.
That Marquinhos.
Yeah. Only 3 million seems an odd amount for a player if he's that good. That they're fighting over him. You think they'd have got a bit more money for him, wouldn't you, Sao Paulo? But
Okay, then. So I've just done a little bit of digging, and it turns out that according to Transfermarkt, Fabio Vieira played 76 minutes in the first game against Liverpool. The home game, he came on in the 14th minute, and he was on the bench for the fifth game. When Porto came to Anfield, he was on the bench. So 76 minutes is a decent amount of time to at least make yourself.
Yeah, he should have been able to make a mark, shouldn't he?
Either way, either a good impression or a bad one. At least make a mark.
Yeah, exactly. At least we noticed. I never even noticed him playing, which says a lot, I think.
Yeah, but at least
he's an attacking midfielder as well.
Yeah, but at least we're not criticizing him.
Yeah, I guess so. At least it wasn't. But then the rest of their team, they were poor. To be honest, they were absolute. They would just sit back, and they ended up just pegged back and just playing it long to be us. Yeah. So.
They lost 5-1, so nobody gave a good enough
account of them. They were awful. They were absolutely outclassed. Apart from Diaz, who stood out like a sore thumb, like. But yeah,
but I remember I remember there was even a bit of debate about how effective Diaz was. Like some people weren't.
Yeah, some people were convinced, and I thought he was like just brilliant. He was really, one of those players you just think, wow, he's got something.
I'm sure they must.
It was Abid that didn't rate him, didn't he? Abid didn't think much of him. Was it Abid or Basil?
Oh well, but that is like even a more bigger thumb of approval than your appreciation. Is that if Abid doesn't like a player, you have to go and buy him. It doesn't matter who. If he doesn't rate a player, then that guy is.
Yeah, because he loved Naby Keita. He had me so excited for the signing of Keita because he kept going on about how great he was. So I was really excited when we signed Keita. So there you go, there's the proof.
Even I thought Keita was a very good signing. And to be honest, he had a very good season when we signed him. He said that he just became a D1 CK when he actually got the move. He had a very good season, I remember.
Yeah, it seemed to go to his head, didn't it? So who else do we expect? I mean, what do we expect them to lose? Because they're still likely to lose Lucas. They still want to get rid of Lucas Torreira, don't they? But like Fiorentina wouldn't do well too. Hector Bellerin could still go.
But I would say if they can make a good use of him, then Hector Bellerin is still a good option for them.
I mean.
Yeah, but the main issue with Arsenal over the years, like 2-3 seasons, is once players leave, they don't want to come back because Arteta makes sure to burn all the bridges.
Yeah, it's a very odd. They do seem to be very much like you go and that's it. You don't want to come back. There doesn't seem to be any like go out on loan and we'll make you, we'll see how you get on and maybe we integrate you later. It just seems to be you send them out on loan to get rid of them, doesn't it? Bizarre. Very odd style of management.
Wherein probably goes back to Spain, I would guess.
Yeah, you'd expect so. I mean, they've got 5 goalkeepers in the first team squad, so a couple of them are going to have to go, aren't they? You'd expect. I can't.
Yeah, Bernd Leno. I would say Leno would be trying to get a move away because he was on the periphery.
Yeah.
He was on the periphery of the German national team, and now he's nowhere. What do you make of him actually?
Yeah, he's all right. He's not as bad as
Bernd
he was
Leno.
made to look. He isn't what Arteta wanted him to be. Let's be honest. He's not a ball playing goalkeeper. He's not a sweeper keeper. But he's not a bad keeper. He's a solid, decent keeper. But you don't want to be putting him on the ball. Yeah, let's be honest. His confidence was.
So you're saying
by it.
he's a worse version of David De Gea.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, he's a David
A good keeper, but not. Yeah, a good keeper, but not good with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, so in the
to be honest, I can see it because he's not. Yeah, he's not that assured when he's dealing with the high balls either.
Yeah, he's not the great. He's not a confident goalkeeper, is he at all? For me, I'd let him go. They've got that Matt Turner. I don't know how good he is, but he's obviously been brought in as the backup, so Leno can go. And I'd assume Runarsson will have to go because he's 27 as well, and I've never seen. He doesn't seem to be anywhere near the side. You got to expect at least one centre back to go because they've got 6. Oh no, they've only got 5. I was thinking of Keane plays at the back. Tomiyasu. Yeah, they have got 6. Tomiyasu's really a centre back. He played right. They just put him at right back because he had a gap, and he turned out to be quite good. Yeah, I mean it's hard to see that what they've done is really a significant step forward, isn't it?
Especially if they're gonna lose Saliba again for whatever reason. And I know there will be some people saying, "Oh, they've come out in the media and he's staying and all," but it's the media.
Yeah, they say that. I mean, Barcelona are saying they're not selling players and they're signing players, but they can't because they can't afford to not sell them, and because they won't be able to sign the ones they've said they're signing. You know what I mean? So what they say in the media doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So anyway, should we move on from Arsenal?
Gabriel is also linked with a move away. So
yeah. Well, he's being this interest in him, and they seem to be open to selling him.
Arteta, it's the Arteta factor again.
I don't get it. It's a very strange one. There's other players there that surely would be ones you'd get rid of ahead of him, but maybe he's getting a bit old at 24.
Yeah, I noticed they don't have anybody over the age of 30 listed in their squad. That's quite young.
They've got. I think they've got the youngest squad, haven't they?
Surely they must have, because even the other teams with younger squad, they have 2-3 guys over the age of 30, which already makes the average go up.
Yeah, I think they've got. I'm pretty sure they had the youngest squad last year, and it's got younger now. So.
Yeah, with the departure of. But they might have one more. Maybe Cedric is the oldest. Let me check how old he is. He's only 30. Yeah, he's the oldest and he's 30.
Wow. Shocking. And that's... if it works for them, who's going to care? But, just don't see I just don't see the quality there, to be honest, to really go forward. Don't be
And they
worried.
still got Zaka.
Yeah.
They still got Zaka to play in the midfield. They still
Well,
have Nicola Pepe on their books.
and the 15 captains as well. I don't get that thing, but there we go. It's not for me to decide, is it? Should we move on to Villa anyway? Because I think we've talked enough about Arsenal, to be honest.
Yeah, okay. Aston Villa.
Should we start with the outs again? They've lost nothing of value really from what I can see. Matt Target was already out on loan. Trezeguet, I don't know if he was out on loan last season, but he wasn't very good. I think he was.
I think he was out injured most of the
Bazak's
season.
here. Bazak's here. He was out on loan with. So he was out on loan. I thought he was. He's not a good player though. Anyway, why is his name Trezeguet?
I think he was
He
out
plays
on loan
nothing like
to
David
Turkey.
Trezeguet.
He was on loan at Başakşehir.
Yeah, Bazak's, and now he's moved to Trabzonspor.
And he's playing Champions League. Oh, he's gonna play in the Champions League.
Shocking.
Because Trabzonspor won the league.
Shocking that is, because he's nowhere near good enough. Terrible player, but you know, Turkish teams don't have the kind of finances to buy them. Buy the best players. So they're shopping in the bargain basement. Is what they're. They get. You can't always buy quality, can you? There. They've also lost Kalinic, who was a backup keeper, and Conor Hurricane, who was a backup midfielder. So they haven't really lost anything. Oh, has Robin Olsen gone back on?
No.
Gone back as well.
No.
He signed, didn't he? Yeah, he signed him permanently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they did, but then I couldn't see him in the list. So there's nothing really on the outs. They've not weakened themselves, so they're looking quite good on that respect, I think. It's the ins. I mean, Coutinho's just keeps them, and Robin Olsen just keeps them at the same level, obviously, because they were already there.
So they were already there.
Yeah,
they were already there.
So there's no point discussing them because they're not changing anything with them. But so it's Diego Carlos and Boubacar Kamara.
Carlos was once of interest to Liverpool.
Yeah. I've never been impressed with him particularly. I don't know about you. What do you think of him?
I watched him when we had a journey to what I think was the semi-finals in the Europa League during the first COVID times. I think we played them in the semi-finals, Sevilla, and I thought he was a walking yellow card. I genuinely thought. He looked so nervous and so reckless, especially at the first interval.
That's exactly what I thought of him. He was very, very, very restless and rash. Yeah, and I remember that was what people were saying when they, when he was being linked with us as well. I remember that was always the comment, and I thought, thank God, I'm not the only one who thinks that. He just doesn't look.
And I think, just to cut you off, I think that Konsa is out injured. Now imagine a centre-back pairing of Diego Carlos and Tyrone Mings. I would be surprised. I would be surprised if both of them aren't yellow carded in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, Mings is not. Mings, I mean.
You can say many things about Mings. Yeah, many things about Mings, but being calm and calculated isn't one.
No, he's definitely very emotional. If he's having a good game, he seems to grow in confidence and become better and better. But if anything goes wrong for him, it just turns into a disaster, doesn't it? What do you think of Kamara? He looks a good signing, I've got to say.
They got him under the noses from under the noses of Atletico Madrid. I think a chat with Steven Gerrard won him over for them, and I'm excited to see how he does.
Yeah,
because because there are many United supporters as well who thought he was a very good pickup on a free.
Yeah, exactly, a free transfer. You can't. If,
You
and
can't go much wrong, even if it doesn't work. Even if it doesn't work.
and it was what they
Moving on.
desperately needed as well. I know
Yeah,
Marvelous.
defensive minded midfield.
Yeah, they only really had Marvelous for that position, and he doesn't really live up to his name most of the time. He had a couple of decent games where he was, and one brilliant game against Liverpool, I remember. But most of the time, he's a bit, he's a bit out of it. Like to be,
But he was but his parents just messed him up. How can you live up to such an amazing name? Come on, you're on a hiding to nothing.
yeah, you gotta be. If you're him, you've got to be thanking your parents every day for that. You name, man. You gotta be thinking, you bastards. Because he must spend his entire life with people cracking jokes about it constantly. You're never gonna live up to a name like that anyway, no matter what you do.
Even Salah or Messi or Ronaldo would struggle with that name. Come on,
Exactly.
you have to be marvelous every way of the. Come on.
That's, his parents must be evil.
Yeah, like I said, on a hiding to nothing. Come on,
Poor guy. I feel
poor
sorry for
lad.
him. I do feel sorry for him. So, what do we think of their squad overall, though? Do you think they're anywhere decent? They definitely improved, or should have done. Because
I know. If Sappy ever listens to this, he's gonna be very sad. But I think they need someone better to play from the right because Buendia doesn't cut it for me.
yes, they only. I was trying to think who they got playing from the right. Yeah, Buendia. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him.
Yeah,
I didn't rate him at
he's
Norwich.
hit and miss. He's hit and miss. He can have good games, but he seems
He's
to be very
more miss than
inconsistent.
hit for me. I like that Ramsey they've got in midfield. I've got to say. And
They seem to be, yeah,
to be good.
yeah, yeah. You go on with it. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that word.
Well, I gave it as good a go as I could. Yeah, he's supposed to be pretty good. I've not seen a
Charney,
lot of
right? His name is.
him. Yeah,
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 but
Carney.
they seem to have a very good academy right now. So
Yeah, because that Cameron Archer looks a player. He could be their secret weapon. Certainly a bit of an improvement. King there, I mean, I know he did well at Forest last season, but he didn't score a lot of goals, and he was playing in the Championship. I think that's his level, to be honest. He's one of those that's probably a little bit too good for the Championship, but not quite good enough for the Premier League. I think Keenan Davis. So I don't see him getting much of a run out.
they also have Louis Barry there. I think he scored against Liverpool
Yes. Louis Barry.
once in the cup. And they also have Aaron Ramsey. Not the Wales one, the English one.
Do they? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
think of Ramsey's brother, younger brother.
I didn't know that.
I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying he's another Aaron Ramsey.
It can't be worse than the other one. I'd never understood how he got moved to Juve. Even when he's fit, he's not a bad player. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not a great player, is he? When he's fit. And it's
Yeah,
so rare he's fit.
but Juve would take home your dump if it was for free. That's the thing. If it's for free, they take everything.
That's true. That's a fair point. They do like free things. They took out
Emre Can. They took out Emre Can and then didn't even register him for the Champions League squad.
yeah, he's what was I going to say then? I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh yeah, and of course the good news for them is they've re-signed Ashley Young for another season.
But that was the biggest news.
Yeah, of course, that's the important thing. We nearly missed that. Whew. Tell you what.
He is a very lucky guy. He can be older than you and he would still be called young.
I know. He is older than me. I'm only 21 this year. In a couple of weeks, I'll be 21, mate. What are you talking about? Again, admittedly, but it's in time. But yeah, I'm going to be 21 again.
Even I'm not 21. Fucking stop lying. I don't think you, no. Even your daughter's not 21. She's older.
No, she is 21 this year as well. Yeah, this year she turns 21. A couple of weeks after me, she'll turn 21. So, actually...
No, she will turn 21, but you'll
I'll
always
be
just remain
21.
21.
No, it's just a standing joke in the family because for years when she was little, she couldn't figure out why my mum was younger than me. Because my mum always said she was 21, and my daughter was absolutely Nana had never lied to me. That's what she used to say. When I used to say, she's not really 21. Nana had never lied to me. And then she'd ask, how does it work? How can she be younger than you when she's your mum? That's like, how do you explain that to her? You just go, you can't. We'll move on to Bournemouth then. So Villa, we think have made a step forward, but it's not a lot, is it? Actually, there's only really two players each side in essence, and one of them we're not convinced by, and the other one we're not really sure yet how good he is. So we'll move on to Bournemouth then next. Well, they've let go of Gary Cahill. He was well past it anyway, so they won't be missing him. And Robbie Brady, again, he was never at it, let's be honest.
He's just injured half the time anyways.
But he's fit, I just don't... he's a headless chicken. He's one of them. He works hard, and he's got a beautiful left foot on him, he can strike the ball brilliantly, but he's got no brains. Absolutely no brains. Now in the middle of
They've only had 3 players in as of now confirmed. Joe Roswell from Blackburn, Ryan Friedrichs from West Ham, Gavin Kilkenny from Stoke. And I'm not gonna lie, I had never heard of him. Or Roswell from Blackburn.
I've heard of Roswell. I've watched him a few times.
I've heard of him as well.
As a kid.
Yeah, he was at Man United as a kid, so I've heard of him. I'm saying Gavin Kilkenny, the guy they brought in on loan from Stoke.
But I watched a fair bit of Blackburn the season before, and Rothwell was playing. I'm sure Rothwell was the one that kept feeding Elliot. That's how I remember him. And Ryan Fredericks, he's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful player.
He just runs fast and that's about it.
Yeah,
he runs very fast.
Yeah, but he's another one that's a yellow card waiting to happen. And he's not even particularly good on the ball though. He's a bit hit and miss with his touch and stuff like that. He's one of those players you just don't think much of. Yeah, well, I don't anyway. You might tell me he's the greatest player in the world ever, and you wish you'd bought him for Man United. But for me, he's not good enough, and I think he's there. So they've not really. I mean, what they've brought in, it's not really inspiring, is it? They just look like a team destined to go straight back down, don't they?
No, those are the moves you make if you're in the championship, trying to fight back. at least for now, they don't have a team that's gonna fight for survival.
I mean,
And I know every year we said things about teams that get promoted, and then
they've still got a fair
uh,
few of the players from when they were there last time around. They've still got Solanke,
yeah, they got
Stanislas,
Lloyd
Brooks.
Kelly. Yeah, Lloyd Kelly was there when they were in
Mm.
the Premier League.
Lerma,
Philip Billing,
he's a
Jefferson
good
Lerma.
he's a good player. Lerma, they did well to hang on to him. Oh God,
Lewis Cook as well, although he just got injured time
he's
and again.
another injury-prone player. Jack Stacey was there last time as well. Though I wasn't that impressed with him. Adam Smith, he's
Yes,
still there.
Junior Stanislas was
Yeah,
also there. I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying he was also there.
yeah. That David Brooks, is he actually fit now?
I don't know whether he's fit.
Because
Didn't he have?
he's had quite a few problems, hasn't he? It's not like it's just one. He's
Yeah,
had quite a few
I might.
injuries.
I don't want to speculate. Wait, I'll just have a Google about him.
He does seem to. I'm pretty sure. Didn't he have some serious illness?
Yeah, that is what I'm
I,
trying to figure out.
I was trying to remember what it was, but yeah, he's only 24. He's still young enough, but I don't know. He's a bit lightweight, and yeah, he's a decent player though. I mean,
Okay, this is on Wikipedia, so make of it what you want. But on 3 May 2022, he announced on his social media that he had been given the all clear and now was cancer free
yes,
because he had leukemia,
yeah,
Hodgkin lymphoma.
that's
Sorry,
right.
not leukemia, Hodgkin lymphoma.
Yeah, Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's it. Yeah, and I knew there was something serious he had.
I knew it started with L and I thought it was leukemia, so my bad.
Uh,
That is why I first wanted to check.
Similar
And
thing.
it's on Wikipedia, so it's a fact.
Yeah. Well, if Wikipedia says it, I mean, depends on who wrote it, obviously, but yeah, you gotta take it as. So, what do you think? I've got to say, what do you think of Solanke? Do you think he can make the step up? How he's back in the Premier League?
I will say we have to find out. I don't expect him to be that good, but you never know because he was very young when he was first in the Premier League.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a chance for him to find out, that's for sure. But I personally think they need forward players. They just I'm not impressed with what they've
Well,
got.
I must say, like I would, if I was the supporter of Bournemouth, I wouldn't be happy going into the season with Dominic Solanke being your center forward, your starting center forward, with having him be the guy tasked to score the goals to keep you up. Maybe they should go for someone experienced, someone like Timo Pukki. But then again, he has proven that he cannot score enough goals to keep his side in the league.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't look at him. Was it them that had Nat Phillips last season?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm surprised they haven't got him back. Yeah, yeah.
But as soon as their move, their promotion was secured, they should have been at it
Oh, he should have
trying to
won.
get him.
Immediately. He was because I remember him. I remember seeing quite a few games. I couldn't remember whether it was actually Bournemouth. I just remember watching a few Championship games while I was in England, and he was excellent. I do not understand how this guy's still at Liverpool. I just don't understand it. He's clearly better than a bench filler, isn't he?
But he's not even your bench filler. He's your like.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he'll be on the bench now because we got you can have like 45 people on the bench these days, can't you? But yeah, I mean, he deserves to be playing regularly. He's certainly good enough.
He's good enough to be starting for lower half.
Oh, easily. I think, you know, having watched him when he played for us in the end of the season, as he played, you know, as the season went on, he got better and better and better. And honestly, I think he could have developed into a player good enough for any of the top sides as well if he'd have got played regularly for us. I don't think he was quite there then, but he was certainly good enough to be third choice, you know what I mean, or fourth choice rather than fifth or sixth. I still think, for me,
I think
when you
he's
look
good
at
enough.
the way,
I think he's good enough. I'm not saying he's brilliant to lead a defense, but I think he's good enough to be a part of a defense, part of a team that is challenging for European places.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Maybe
That's what
maybe someone like West Ham last season, or Wolves a few years back, like
yeah,
when they were challenging for
yeah, I think
top
he'd
six.
improve any of them kind of teams, definitely.
Yeah.
Villa, he'd walk into that Villa
Yeah.
side, the Mings or
No, but Villa aren't top half team. They're bottom half team.
Oh, yeah,
You can argue however way you want, but that's how the table.
yeah, I can't think who's in the
was.
top half now. That could, you know, I'm trying to think. I mean, walk into the Spurs team. Let's be honest.
I think it should have been Newcastle. Newcastle should have been after him,
Should have, but I think they've missed. I think it's.
but they don't have that much sense, I would think.
Yeah, I think they're looking for big names rather than the right players for me. They want to make a statement, don't they? And show that they're in there. Anyway, there's not really a lot more you can say about Bournemouth. They haven't really done much, and it doesn't look like they're going to be doing anything really.
And I don't think Scott Parker. I don't think Scott Parker is the type of manager that can get a below average team performing above their level.
No, I mean they're fine in the championship. They did well, but championship, and he had a better team than those around him, so he should have done better. Anyway, should we move on to Brentford now?
Okay.
They're out. Well, the only ones that are out, 3, and one of them hasn't even definitely out yet, is Ericsson, Zanka, and Jean-Vier. Oh, and Lossell's gone because he was only on loan from Midtjylland, wasn't he? So, but I mean, Ericsson still. Then they've not given up hope of keeping him, have they? So it's not quite all done and dusted with United, even though he's agreed to join. You know, he's happy with the United thing, they say, but they're saying it's still a possibility he'll go back.
Yeah, well, there is a chance until there isn't.
True, but I think he'd be better off staying. I've said this. I just don't see where he fits in the Man United team, whereas I think he's a key man for them.
We said it last week as well. But
yeah.
That's his decision to make at the end of the day.
So what do we think of their rings? Because they haven't actually signed anyone yet, have they? What? I thought they had. I really thought they had, but they haven't signed anyone.
No, they've not. It's just the first week of July, so.
Yeah, they've got time, yeah, but you can't see them they're going to get Hickey, isn't it? That's the one. Hickey's about to sign. But isn't he a left back? That's what I'm a bit confused about.
Yeah.
And I didn't think they were short on the left, because you had that Rico Henry, who's quality there. Unless they're expecting him to move on, that's what I'm wondering is, are they likely to be losing Rico Henry, do you think? Otherwise, I don't see the need for signing Aaron Hickey. They needed a right back. They haven't really got one, have they? They have got some in the squad, but they clearly didn't fancy them because they didn't play them.
Well, they surely didn't have good enough right backs because they were having to play a 6'5" centre back at right back.
Yeah, or
Most of
Sergi Canos at right wing back. Yeah, they really weren't. Yeah, I think they might struggle this season. I think, that second season syndrome, as they call it, I don't think there is such a thing, but I think in their case, I think they're going to struggle unless they sign some players quickly, because I know they did all right last season, they did well, but you just look at their squad and you can't see them maintaining it. Janssen at the back's an accident waiting to happen. I'm not convinced by him at all. I don't know why he's so highly rated. Is awful. I don't get him at the back. He can't defend. He really can't defend. But I suppose when you're playing a back three, you can get away with it a bit more. Yeah, I mean, Rico Henry's the standout, really, in their defensive players. He's a good player, but apart from that, I don't really see much. I know they did well last season, but Tony was decent, but how long can they hang on to him?
Yeah, and they also have Christian Norgard, who seems to get very good reviews. People seem to like him. Well, I didn't notice much of him, so I don't know. That's all I can say.
Oh, the midfielder, yeah, because he's a defensive
midfielder.
Norgard. Sorry, yes, I know what you mean now.
Christian
I was thinking
Norgard.
You meant the Mbumo. I was thinking of the other attacker. I was thinking,
I know.
Norgard. That was what was confusing me. I was thinking, I was thinking, I got his name wrong. No, I was thinking Mbumo's looked quite. He looks quite decent for the 20. He's only 22 as well. Decent. Norgard's 28, so he's at his peak. So you'd expect him to be. He's not really got any likely to make any improvement, and he didn't look that special to me. Decent, but not special. Yeah, I just can't see them maintaining it next season. I think they might struggle. The keeper is still Raya. I'm still not convinced by him. He's decent at the way they play, but I'm not sure he's that good as in overall a keeper.
Well, according to Luis Enrique, he's better than David De Gea.
Well, yeah, I think he just suits the way they play better because he's better on the ball, much better on the ball. But
yeah, but then maybe he can play Pedri in goal because Pedri is even better on the ball.
Good idea. That's a good idea. Why didn't you suggest it to him? When you next time.
I just don't understand this fascination with having players having defenders who are good with the ball but can't defend. Having fullbacks who are good with the ball but can't defend. Having strikers who are good with the ball but can't score. And having keepers who are good with the ball but can't keep the ball out of the net. The clue is in the name. Goalkeeper. They don't say ball keeper.
It's the Spanish way of playing, mate. They like to play with the ball. That's it. They think that's if you have the ball enough, eventually you'll create chances and put it in the back of the net. If you don't, and if you don't let the other team have the ball, they can't score. So that's the way they defend. That was the way Holland used to do it as well, wasn't it? They used, but yeah, not for me. I think you need a bit of, you need to be. I don't see why a defender can't be good on the ball and good at defending. I just don't understand why this obsession with putting midfielders at the back. Why you can't find a defender who could actually play. There must be some. I mean, they managed it at Brighton. Yeah. Anyway, should we move on to who's next? Brighton and Hove Albion. Speaking of which, yeah.
They're trying to solve the problem about goal scoring with getting anyone who can just say that they're a striker.
Yeah, they bought a winger, haven't they, from North Zealand? and a forward from Paraguay. I think he's only 18.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
idea what he's like.
Julio and Cisco. They
Yeah,
bought Julio and Cisco. They've got Simon and Dingra.
and they've been trying to.
Just gonna say, never heard of him.
Yeah, no me.
I
But
don't.
they've done all right with players like that in the past, haven't they? But they've lost. I mean, East Basuma is going to be. He's lost, hasn't he? He's gone straight out on loan now, hasn't he? And Adingra to Union San Gilos.
Yeah, it's their sister. Can we call it their sister team? Because they
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a feeder club, however we wanna call it.
Yeah.
It's in their footballing footballing family. So it's gone out on loan.
But
They have Dennis Undav. They have Dennis Undav coming in from USG. He was signed, I think, in January and was there on loan. Like he was signed from USG and then loaned back to them. Now he's joining.
Yeah, and they got that young Turkish
Kasper
Polish lad,
Kozlowski.
yeah, as well.
Yeah, Kasper Kozlowski, who is considered to be a bit of a coup.
Yeah, and they got a couple of young defenders as well coming back from loan.
Yeah, but they're
Theory.
selling one of them. They're selling Ostergaard.
Yeah.
No.
The big worry for me is they're going to be looks like they're going to lose Cucurella to City. Now that's a huge loss.
Unless they can pull another rabbit out of the hat.
They'd have to pull one hell of a rabbit out of the hat to improve on him. To be honest, when you've lost Basuma as well, I mean that's their team looks like they get there.
But that is the issue with the quote unquote smaller teams.
Yeah, they've still got more haven't they? So
you have one or two decent seasons and then teams start circling around your squad like vultures.
Yeah, they've got that Mwepu who can replace Basuma, but I just don't see.
He was signed to be a replacement for him.
Yeah, exactly. So they should be all right in midfield, but I just can't see what they'll do without.
But they still need to replace Adam Lallana.
He's still there.
Yeah, he is.
But he's always injured, so I mean that Alexis McAllister was supposed to be the replacement for him. I suppose Solly March could always cover if they're playing left. If they stick with the left back three, they can always play Solly March left side.
Well, the biggest news for them is that they still got Potter at the helm.
Yeah, that's the important thing, I think.
Most important one. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they've
got
got
Neil
Potter
and that, and Aaron Connolly, and Danny Welbeck. Oh, Danny Welbeck's still there. I didn't realise that. Oh, they're all right now. Champions League, got to be on it. He'll stay.
They're gonna win the league. They're gonna win the league.
Well, no, because he'll probably miss a couple of games, and that'll cost them. You know, when he's in the World Cup with England, they'll miss him. Because it comes back. The league comes back before the final, doesn't it? And obviously, he's going to lead England to the World Cup, isn't he?
Oh, he's gonna be the Golden Boot winner.
Oh yes.
And
definitely.
the best player.
Definitely, Golden Boot and whatever no, it's not Golden Boy. What's the
Golden Ball.
Golden Ball is top scorer, isn't it? Oh, it's Golden Ball best player.
No, it's a Golden Boot. Yeah, Golden Boot is a top scorer. Right. Oh, he's gonna be dripped in gold.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they've still got Shane Duffy. They're laughing then. How the hell is he a Premier League player?
I don't know how he is a Premier League player, but I think he just the proof that Graham Potter is a very good manager.
Oh, magician!
He was horrendous. He was horrendous at Celtic. Yeah. And you don't even have to be a footballer to be good at Celtic.
No, because you got 10. You know, you walk in the league
You just need to, yeah,
anyway.
yeah. You just need to be the put on the shirt with their badge on the front, and then you just people are just gonna back away from you and think you're brilliant.
Hmm.
He struggled even for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, they have a good defensive, fairly decent defensive record, Brighton. So even with him in the side, so yeah, he's obviously a magician. He's the real Potter, the real magician.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter's got nothing on him. He couldn't make Shane Duffy look like a Premier League player. I don't care how good his magic is. Shall we move on to Chelsea then? Now these are the
Nobody's name.
wow. That's not true. They've got people like Conor Gallagher and Armando Broa back from loan, and who else? Emerson's back. Efton Ampadu, Michi Batshuayi, Matt Miazga, or whatever it's pronounced as well. Though he's shit, so I can't see him. So Batshuayi for that matter. But yeah, I mean Conor Gallagher alone could be a big improvement for them if they keep him and play him, which you'd expect them to do.
But I don't think he's that suited to the way they want to play, because most of his good work comes out of possession. That's his issue.
That's true. Not the way
That's
Thomas. He likes to be attacking as well, which doesn't suit Thomas Tuchel, does it?
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not like, when you think of Conor Gallagher, you don't think about good passing movements with him, or him uh, hitting a long ranging pass, or
Yeah,
playing a
true.
through ball, like eye of the needle through ball or things. Most of his game is about, like, the ones that you can off the top of your head remember is him hounding down his opposition, getting in the box, getting a shot away, things like that.
Yeah,
And I don't think that's what Tuchel's system is built
no, you're right there.
around.
He's a old-fashioned box-to-box midfielder, proper box-to-box midfielder. A very good one, but yeah, you're right. They don't really have. Maybe they'll tweak it though to get the best out of
Well,
him.
if I'm being honest, I don't think he would be that big of an impact on Liverpool's midfield either right now. 2-3 seasons ago, yes, when they were like the pressing monsters. But even with Klopp, I don't think he would be that amazing, because his best attributes right now, at least, don't seem to suit the way the team plays.
Mm.
Maybe it was just a result of the way Patrick Vieira had his team playing. I don't know, but he wasn't that ball dominant at West Brom either. And I know West Brom aren't a ball dominant side, but still.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a player you'd want pinging long passes out to the wings, for instance. And that. Yeah, I agree with you there. His work is about chasing around and breaking into the box. Like we said, very old-fashioned box-to-box midfielder. Very good at it, but
maybe he has all those strings to his bows, but I'm yet to see them.
Yeah, I mean, he might turn out to be brilliant on the ball if he gets the chance to do it. Run around less and play on the ball more, possibly. Only time will tell on that, but yeah, I do get your point. It does look like a big step up from what they had though, Jorginho and Kovacic though.
Kovacic.
I mean,
and Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Ross Barkley.
Oh God, he's abysmal, Barkley. I don't understand why they bought him in the first place. I'll never understand that transfer. He's never a particularly good player. What you look at though, you got to say the outs do look like they've got good outs there. I mean, they got rid of Lukaku, who was a problem, and got a loan fee for him. So that's a win for him. And I know people raved about Rudiger and they loved him and all this, because he showed passion. Apparently that makes him a great player. And I'm sorry, but for me, he just wasn't a very good player. And the fact that he's got a Real Madrid is shocking. God. Well, I suppose he can get away with kicking shites out of people there. You're not going to get booked when you play for Madrid, are you? Doesn't matter of, if you pull them down whenever, you'll get away with it for them. That's why Ramos managed to survive in his career there. You got Christensen again. He's just not suited to the Premier League. He's too weak, too slow. Somehow he's ended up at Barcelona.
Yeah, but Barcelona.
Yeah. Well, possibly.
He's ended up at Barcelona because Barcelona have that kind of transfer strategy.
Well, only
like
if they can register.
Like I said last week, Barcelona have transfer policy that can rival ours, Man United's.
Yeah.
And our transfer policy has been horrendous, to be polite.
Well, did you see what that Raphael Honigstein said yesterday? Or today, it might have been today. He claimed.
What did he say?
He claims that Bayern Munich, the reason why Bayern Munich won't do a deal with Barcelona for selling Lewandowski is because they're happy to sell him to Barcelona for the amount that they've offered. That's not the issue. The issue is Barcelona want to pay in instalments, and he's claiming that Bayern Munich think Barcelona will go out of business in the next 1 or 2 years, get liquidated, so they won't take they want all the money up front.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I read that somewhere. I didn't know it was Rafa Honigstein who reported it. I thought it was just some social media chatter.
Well, that's what I thought at first, and then I saw who said it, and I'm like, no, all people. I mean, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that.
No, but for someone who doesn't understand number like me, being more than $1 billion in debt and then having to sell rights about your club, your sponsorship, and all those things, surely there must be some fire in the smoke.
Yeah, they are in trouble.
They're having to sell future projected revenues already.
They're in, but the thing is, and this is what I keep pointing out to people when they say about how, is Barcelona have existed purely because all their money is borrowed, or most of their money was borrowed from Catalan banks, and Catalan banks will not recall the debt ever. They just won't. Because if the minute they say to Barcelona, okay, you need to pay back this money you owe, everybody in every Catalan just goes to the bank and takes their money out. Simple as that. They know that. It goes a run on the bank, so they can't. So what do you think with Chelsea? I mean, clearly there's a lot more to come from them. I mean, they're supposed to be Ziyech looks to be going out to AC Milan by the looks of it, but the incoming, I mean.
Yeah, they're almost finished the deal for Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling. I was going to say somebody compared him to Messi on another thing. One of the headlines of Football London, it was. I was crying so.
No, I think he's Messi. I think he's Messi.
Yeah.
Not Lionel. The one with the Y at the end.
I think that's what they meant, and it got mistranslated. Yeah, I saw that about Gomez, by the way. The new deal.
They need center backs. Every time we talk about Chelsea, that's the thing. They need center backs. Not only do they need quality, they even need quantity now.
Yeah,
they've got
three guys players all over.
No, but especially at the back, they've got Thiago Silva, they've got Trevoh Chalobah, and Malang Sarr. Two guys who are very young and very raw. And one guy who, let's face it, is 37, 38, like getting on a bit.
And they're trying to sign people. They're being linked with people like Frankie De Jong and Neymar and Cristiano Ronaldo.
And Cristiano.
Clearly, Bowley's just trying to, make a big impact, but he's obviously not that football savvy. So he's asking Tuchel, do you want these players? When Tuchel's probably looking at it going, no, I want a fucking defender. Just buy me some defenders. Like, I bet that's what's happening there.
Well, it seems like they may not get Jules Koundé over the line either.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Matthias de Ligt, they were linked with Matthias de Ligt, but even
Well,
he...
he's for sale, so it looks like Juve want shot of him. Don't know why. I don't know what's happened with him.
Because he's not signing a new contract, and he wasn't
Right. I
what
missed that.
and he wasn't what they expected him to
Oh,
be.
he's terrible.
He's
player.
not that good.
He's not very good. I do not understand what I've been saying. I said that before they signed him. I didn't get it. And
Do you know what I think of De Ligt? I think he's just Dutch Harry Maguire, and I'm not even trying to be
I
funny.
would agree with that completely. That is the perfect example of what he is. He's very like him. Oh,
Just the Dutch Harry Maguire that is better with the ball at his feet.
yeah. Oh, what is going on there? Oh, are you watching kids TV or something? Anyway, yeah. So they desperately need defenders. I can't see unless Miazga, they brought him back and they're going to play him, because they've let Jake Clark-Salter go. So he was a defender as well. Yeah, it's just you look at their squad and I don't see Raheem Sterling. Yeah, yeah.
They've been linked
he
with
improves
Nathan
them,
Ake as well. Like we mentioned it
yeah.
last week as well. They've been linked with Nathan Ake.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, where does he play?
And
He plays for
somebody
Malang Sarr.
on the Chelsea page called him slow.
Yeah, that was bizarre. It's the one thing he's not is slow. And they have got Ampadu coming back. Actually, he can play centre back, but I'm not sure he is a centre back. But you look at their squad, and you could strengthen every single area of the team.
Literally.
You can't.
Maybe not right back. Okay. Maybe not right back, right wing back.
Well, only because Aspilicueta is still there at the moment. But if he leaves, as is expected, to Barcelona.
Yeah, but you cannot upgrade on Reece James.
Well, you could Trent Alexander-Arnold, but they're not gonna get him.
But that's fine, the Sky. But that's fine,
the
Sky.
Yeah, but you said they couldn't improve. I'm saying they can. He's better. So, and this Hakim, what's his name?
No, but they can't.
Hakimi.
They can't. They can't go out and buy him.
Oh, true.
That's
True. Okay, yeah, I take your point. So, yeah, they'd only be the backup. They'd be improving basically. Left back, they're probably not going to get a better one than Chilwell, to be honest, either.
Yeah, but they need someone in. Maybe if they can convince Ian Matson to stay, maybe he can act as backup. Because remember,
Matson, they've got Emerson's just come back from loan.
yeah, but they look like they want to sell Emerson.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's the one that got farmed out on loan, whereas Alonso stayed. He's a terrible player. But yeah, somehow he keeps. They really do, but they desperately need a centre back. I mean, you can't see Miazga and Ampadu being the answer, can you? So yeah, they're going to have to. Unless they go. I mean, if they go back three with Aspilicueta as one of them.
Yeah, but even then they need numbers.
Yeah, but then I mean.
They still need.
But
I would say they still need one quality guy.
I was going to say then you could get away with Ampadu and Miazga and Aspilicueta, Chalobah and Malang Sarr as working with Thiago Silva. You probably get away with that if you play a back three. But it does mean...
No, but then you're massively undernumbered. Yeah, but then you don't have enough number, even with those guys, and not enough quality.
I'd say quality is what they're lacking rather than numbers then, because that's still 6 centre-backs. It's quality that they're lacking then. And Reece James can play centre-back as well, so... Yeah, maybe they're not lacking in numbers, it's quality they're lacking, really, let's be honest. In midfield, I mean, they've got Kante, but he's always injured now. You know, he seems to pick up a lot of injuries. Can't really rely on him, he's injured at the moment, isn't he? So...
Yeah, but he's
Conor Gallagher maybe can take. take some of that weight off his shoulders. I don't see Billy Gilmour as good enough. I know he's people rave about him and still think he's the Scottish Messi, like, but I'm not convinced by him at all. He's had one good game in his career from what I've seen, and that was against Liverpool, and that was a half-assed, that was half a Liverpool team, but that wasn't even a full, squad out, like, in the cup. Yeah, I mean,
they can't rely on him to be good next season. That's the thing. So next season they need someone. They need a defensive-minded midfielder.
Yeah.
Because at least with the likes of Mount, Conor Gallagher, you can say they don't need as much attacking thrust from the midfield. So they need someone.
They're all right. I think they've got a decent. They need an actual striker because Batshuayi's not good enough. Broja didn't look ready to me. I wasn't. Yeah, he was good, but I'm not sure he's anywhere near ready.
Being good for a Southampton team is different to being the first. It's different from being the first for Chelsea. Yeah.
It was difficult.
I'm agreeing with you, anyways. Yeah. I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying
you can't expect him. You can't expect him to be the guy that's leading the line for Chelsea. There's too much pressure on your shoulders.
No, and to be honest, he got messed around a lot by Ralph. So, I
remember he was playing left wing most of the time, or left midfielder, however.
Yeah, but I'm not sure he knew where he was playing, to be honest. I think Ralph doesn't know himself what he wants people to do a lot of the time. So you look at him and he just seems to be he doesn't seem to have a clue what he's doing most of it. I really don't know how he's still in a job. Shocking. It's good that someone's, they've shown patience, right? But still. Anyway, should we move on to Palace now, I think we've talked about them enough, haven't we? Because there's not a lot, they've got so much left to do. It's not until they start buying people that we can really talk more about Chelsea. So I think we should move on to Palace, who really haven't done a lot at all. They've let go like a couple of centre-backs. Martin Kelly and Jaroslav.
They brought in...
But they were only back.
They've brought in Sam Johnson.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by him at all. And that Ebio, is it Ebio Way? Or something like that?
I don't know. Who knows?
He's a young winger. He's one for the future anyway, so...
He's a forward. I think he can play centre forward as well.
Can he? I didn't know that. I've not really seen a lot of him. I've only heard about him and he was an actual out-and-out winger. So.
See, so many good young prospects coming from Derby County. If only they had a decent setup.
Their academy's brilliant, but they just once they get...
They always seem to waste it.
Yeah, because they'd rather buy players rather than give it, rather than just save the money and work with the youngsters. See, I don't get the Sam Johnstone signing. I've got to say, I'm not a big I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of Butland either. But Sam Johnstone's just the same. He's just not. He's a nothing keeper. He's very average at best for me. I don't understand the signing. Do you? Do you get that one?
He's English and he's decent. I think he's decent.
I think that's over-egging him a bit myself. I think he's average at best. I'm not convinced by him at all. I think he's championship level, and that's where he was last season, and that's the level he's at, to be honest. Look at them, they need numbers in. But I suppose they can give them a chance to try out more kids, and maybe they'll find another Tyreek Mitchell.
Yeah, they need.
They
need to bring in someone to replace Conor Gallagher first and foremost.
Yeah.
I know Eze is just coming back from injury and all that, but
and Elise is still growing into the team and that.
He looks such a good prospect. Elise.
They really need a proper striker though. That's what they need. They've still got Benteke up front and Mateta not good enough. Edouard, I don't understand why they bought him from Celtic. He's nowhere near good enough. Zaha's just a glory hog and isn't actually not convinced he's that high. They lack quality basically, don't they, through the team. Other than those Elise and Eze, who've got quality but they're kids, you know, they're still growing in. He's not a kid actually, he's 24, so...
He's coming back from a long...
Yeah.
He's not coming back. He had a long-term injury last season.
Yeah, exactly.
End of season before, if I remember correctly.
I think you so, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, but you just look at them and you think they really need a bit of strengthening. Whether they've got it in the youth team or not is the question, but...
They need a right back, then the defense would be sorted. Because for a team, for a mid-table team fighting for mid-table mediocrity, they have a very good defense.
Yeah, they're Joel Ward and Nathaniel Klein are a weak link, definitely. But they also need a left back because they've only got one in Tyreek Mitchell. That's their only left back. But I suppose they can play Schlupp there if need be, I suppose. He's obviously the cover, I would think. Not ideal though, is it?
Yeah, but that's what happens when you're...
Yeah, when you're...
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, they definitely need a midfielder though, someone to provide energy. MacArthur's past it. Hughes isn't really good enough. Kayati's starting to look his age as well. Milivojevic, he's too slow. Yeah, I can still see them doing okay though. I can still see them mid-table. They still look like mid-table mediocrity, don't they? Really, what they've got.
Their main issue is still the same as it was a year or two ago. The players are aging out. Even with the massive overhaul they had last season, they still have players that are aging out.
Maybe they'll bring in a few this season later in the window, but I can't see. I think they might be pretty much. I think I think they might have spent their budget for the next few seasons last year.
So next up, we have our favorite.
Shane Billy's not here for this one. I'm sure he'd love to talk about how great a signing Tarkowski is. And how brilliant Richarlison will be for Spurs. I'm sure he'd love to tell us that. I think Richarlison won't be as big a loss as you'd think. Simply because he didn't seem to gel well with what's his face? Calvert-Lewin for me. They didn't seem to work well together. I don't know. I'm not sure convinced he's that big a loss, or that he works hard, but I'm not sure he's that good, that great. You know what I mean? That they'll miss him that much. I'm not. But more to the point, Tarkowski, awful signing. I don't see how it's helps them. Do you? I say that.
Well, I think when you look at their options. You look at their options,
look at their defense.
He's better. He's better than the players they already had. So.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'll take that back because I just looked at their defense, and he's definitely an improvement, isn't he? I mean, he's better than Keane. So, Mina can't stay fit. Godfrey's a bit weak in the air. Holgate's there. See, I think Holgate's okay. I just think he's a bit hard done by sometimes. Branthwaite looks to have been a bit of a flash in the pan. They've got good options at fullback because that Nkunku and Branthwaite, and Mikalenko, good players. And Patterson's good on the right. But they need. Well, they've got a lot to do, haven't they? And I can't see what they can do because they've got no money.
Yeah, they need some midfielders, they need some defenders, they need some attackers, and they could actually do with a better keeper.
Yeah.
Not a lot. It should be
Yeah.
easy peasy.
Yeah, and you can't see how they can do that with the money they've got available. But I think this is when this is the better for Lampard, to be honest, is when he has to work like this. I think his problem is when when he has money to spend, he lost the plot, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe with him in charge, they can try and do some shrewd moves with Chelsea academy and get a few players on loan. Maybe they can use his contacts now.
Yeah. I mean, if they added Gallagher to that team, it makes a huge difference, because what they really miss is legs in midfield for sure.
Yeah, but even more so, there's other guys in the Chelsea academy who are just on the periphery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they could, but you can only sign one from a team, can't you? From another Premier League team. So.
Well, is it one or two? I thought it was two.
No, I think you can sign two players on loan from Premier League teams, but only one from each team, I think now, unless one's a loan to buy. One has to be a loan to buy, and I don't think they can afford to buy anyone, can they? So.
They should just try and get rid of Dele Alli, actually.
Yeah, they need to offload a few. Andre Gomez, Dele Alli, Alan's looking finished. Michael Keane's crap.
Seamus Coleman is getting on a bit, but I guess they need some numbers.
Yeah.
At least they've got rid of Fabian Delph, Cenk Tosun, they've got rid of.
Yeah, they got rid of a few. Offloaded a few to clear some space. I mean, that John Joe Kenny, I don't know why they offered him a new contract. He's not very good.
Yeah, maybe they offered him a new contract, thinking they can then move Seamus Coleman on.
Possibly, but I thought he played on the other. Oh no, he's just a right back, isn't he? He played left back for. He played left back for. That's what he was. He played on the left for some reason. Because Lampard decided to play him there rather than play a left back there. That was right for a while, didn't he? I mean, their transfer window's just a difficult thing because they've got no money and they've got to sell to buy, and I don't think you can really complain. I don't rate Tarkowski at all, as you know, but like looking at it, it does seem to be a step up from what they've got. Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got to say they seem to be having a decent enough window for what they've got. How about Fulham next then? They look to be spending big, but they've got Marco Silva in charge, so.
And they're spending big on whom? Andreas Pereira?
Well, I brought Paulinho, and they look to be buying, who is it?
Manor Solomon.
Yeah, and no, there was somebody else. Andres Pereira, yeah, that was the one, wasn't it? Right. Oh, Issa Diop, that was it. From West Ham.
They're also linked with Bernd Leno.
Yes, yeah. But they've lost Anguissa. Oh, I think so. I think that's.
Well, he was already at Napoli, so.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. He's a quality player. He was their one quality standout player, I thought. Other than Carvalho, obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League, so you couldn't really call him quality Premier League players. Anguissa was
the issue with them. Sorry to cut you. The issue with losing Anguissa is they lost him for a relatively cheap fee. If it was a big money move, then at least it would be much better on the financial account.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that Carvalho went for what, 5 million, a bit over 5 million. They got rid of Seri though, at least, because he was fucking awful. I've never, do you know, I didn't understand why he was such a big, highly rated player when they. But yeah, I mean, they've got rid of Mawson. Hector, another one. He was a abysmal defender, him. And Cyrus Christie couldn't defend. They've lost Fabry, but they've just got trimmed the wage bill a bit. Yeah, I mean, they do need more signings. Have you seen much of Palin yet? I know he's linked with
Not a
Wolves,
lot.
but I think that's just because he was Portuguese rather than.
I didn't see too much of him, but it's hard to judge players from the Portuguese league. Some turn out to be amazing, some turn out to be just horrendous.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they look good, and
There is no,
screw.
like with the players from the Portuguese league, there is very rarely a middle ground. They're either very good or very bad.
Hmm. And they have got some decent players there. Definitely need a keeper though. But they have got some decent players there. Anthony Robinson looked a good left back last time they were up. Still not convinced by that Kearney. I don't know why he's the captain. I'm not convinced by him at all. You look at them.
I think even Fulham supporters would agree that Kenny is a player that's better, good, that's too good for Championship, but not good enough for Premier League. I think even the Fulham supporters would agree.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by a lot of their team. Though you look at them, think Mitrovic, outstanding in the Championship, but never looks good enough in the Premier League. Knockout, another one, great in the Championship, not good enough for the Premier League. Harry Wilson's just a lazy shite. Caballero, another one, too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. They're going to struggle, I think, aren't they? Really badly. I can't see them staying up unless, yeah, maybe if they sign someone like William Saliba, they could have a chance. Like, so there you go, Darry. You'll have to have another shot now, mate. I wanted to coronavirus name in for you. Apparently he's having a shot for every time I mention Saliba on the podcast. So I thought I'd mention him once more for you, mate.
I don't think there's enough booze left in the world to handle that much alcohol. I don't think even Irish people can handle that much alcohol.
Oh, you'd be surprised, mate. I've barely said the name Saliba today. Ah. There you go, Garrett. Another one, mate. Come on, get him down here. If he gets rushed off talking with alcohol poisoning, I'd just like to say I'm not taking any responsibility for it.
Does it have to be only you, or can it be me as well? If it's two of us, then we can just double down. Let's just double down on it.
But yeah, let's just mention him every. Let's just shoehorn him into everything. We could do a Saliba rating on players. From Saliba to who's really, really shit that I could think of, because I can't think of anybody really, really bad right now. Who's the worst player you can think of you've seen in the Premier League?
I don't want to name him.
No, go on. Who's the worst player you can think of? I can't think of anyone. My mind's gone completely blank.
Okay, wait a minute. I'll come up with a different name, because I can't be seen picking on just one guy all the time.
Harry Maguire. Yeah, we could do a Harry Maguire to William Saliba rating for every team. Harry Maguire, they
No.
Williams for even next night. See, you will have had to knock back a few now, Darren, because we've shoehorned his name in about 20 times there.
Okay.
We'll have to do that, and you know, in future pods, we'll just for when you know, in case Darren's doing this again, he'll be passed out unconscious, let alone sleeping.
Maybe we should just move on.
Yeah,
Move on
we'll
from
Fulham, because there's not a lot more to say about them anyway. Move on to Leeds, who have been doing some exciting work, haven't they? They look in, which they need to. Do you know what? I just don't get it. They've said that this was a deliberate policy that they didn't spend the money last season because they thought they had enough to easily stay up because of the way they've done so well in the first season. You just think, you fucking idiots. That was when you buy, isn't it? That's when you put your money in. Rather than now, when you're in trouble, start spending. I just do not understand that thinking. Why didn't they spend this money last season, and then they'd have had a chance of moving up the table rather than struggling. You know, they could have been challenging for a European place last season if they'd have invested like this. I mean, admittedly, they've lost Calvin Phillips, which will fund a huge part of the spending. But they bought.
No, I think it's just a bunch of lies when they say it was the plan all along.
No, they said they thought they could manage without spending, so they didn't. Is what they were saying. That's what I'm saying. Why hold on off your spending because you think you're all right to say up? I mean, it's just the lack of ambition is bizarre. It means you're going to end up. You know, you just stand still. You fall behind, don't you?
Yeah, that is the issue with a lot of the teams right now. They're happy finishing 16th, 17th.
Yeah.
No real ambition.
Which I could understand, but you've still got to you've still got to bring in players to strengthen your squad to stay there, rather than.
No, but even then, you can't just go into a season hoping to finish 17th. At least try and get into the top half, or maybe just win a cup or something like that.
Yeah, you should have ambition.
If you're aiming for 16th, 17th, then what's the point?
Yeah, I don't get it either, mate. I don't get it either. And they do look to have bought well. They brought in Aronson, who looks a good, decent midfielder. They brought in a winger.
Brandon Aronson.
Tyler Adams.
Yeah, Luis Sinisterra. They brought Sinisterra in. Yeah. Tyler Adams from Leipzig as well.
It's quite interesting he plays on the left when his name's Sinister. Because Sinister obviously left. It's the Latin for left is Sinister. I bet you didn't know that, did you?
Nope.
Yeah, Sinister's left. So. Anyway, sorry, yeah. Yeah, it's whether we're.
They've also got Mark Roca. They've also got Mark Roca in from Bayern Munich. And
Darko Diaby from Man City, who's supposed to be a bit of a talent. And they've got rid of Tyler Roberts, who's shit. That'll improve them. So they've replaced him with Aronson by the looks of it. They do need a striker. Desperately need a striker. If they don't get a striker, I can't see them being much better than they were last season, even with all this investment. Because you can't rely on Bamford.
But aren't they supposed to have a few good young prospects?
Yeah, but they're not. You know,
for strikers, I'm saying for
strikers. Yeah, they love. The fans there love, and they've got Dan James obviously, but they rave about Joe Gelhardt. I can see he's a decent enough player, Sam Greenwood, but I don't think they're players you hang your hat on and like say, yeah, that'll do. We don't need to buy, because basically it's.
And sadly for them, Erling Haaland ain't joining them.
Yeah.
Remember, they were convinced
They were hoping that for years. I think they finally accepted it.
Oh, they were convinced. They were convinced that he is a lead supporter.
Hmm. Yeah, but he's come out and said he's Man City, but then he signed for Man City, so it might be just Robbie Keane. Because didn't what's his face say that? Who came out and did a Robbie Keane?
Gabriel Jesus.
Yes,
Gabriel
that's it.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's been an Arsenal fan all his life. Yeah, of course you have, lad. Of course you have. Yeah, I believe you. Don't we all? So yeah, I mean, unless they buy a striker, they're in trouble for me. They're weak at the back as well. Still need a centre back. Yeah, I mean, they've got lots of fullbacks.
The issue with them is either they don't have the quality or they don't have the required experience. Like even with centre backs, they have a few good young ones, but they're not ready to be playing week in week out for a relegation battling team.
See, I disagree. I think that's fine. I don't think that's a problem. A lack of experience. If you've got experience around them, and they've got decent experience in Diego Llorente and Liam Cooper. Not very good. He's not the greatest player in the world, Liam Cooper, but he's a Scottish international. He's played a lot of games for Scotland, and he's played a lot of games for. And he is a decent leader. He may not be the best defender, but he's a good leader. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're that lacking. They've got quite a few. Stuart Dallas is still there. They've still got people like Luke Ayling who are got experience. So I don't think they're missing much in experience. They've got Click as well, who's 32, so he's got decent experience. You know, I mean, I don't think that's a problem for them. I think their problem is they just lack a real goal scorer. Bamford can't. He misses so many chances.
And he struggled to stay fit last season as well. That's another issue.
Yeah. Well, he was injured, and then he came back. He came back and got injured, didn't he? Slide. He did a knee slide and picked up another injury, didn't he? Which was clever.
That sounds about right.
Typical footballer's intelligence. Yeah, I mean I just see Rafinha's a problem. They haven't sorted out his future, which is a problem, obviously.
But you can't blame them as much because they've agreed to sell him to Chelsea. He doesn't want to go to Chelsea. He wants to go to Barcelona. Barcelona don't have the money, and you can't say they should be even if you're Rafinha, you can go to the club and say you should be accepting a lower bid from another club when there's a bigger offer on the table. And it's not like one is Barcelona and another one is, let's say, a team from China or something. Why are so many players just stuck with the fascination about Barcelona? Don't they know about the current crisis they're in?
I don't understand it. I can understand when Johan Cruyff was in charge, the dream team, and that. I can understand that. I can understand when Pep Guardiola was in charge and they looked fantastic for a couple of seasons. But now, I mean, they're a shambles. I just do not understand the fascination. Same with Madrid. They look to be on the way down rather than on the way up. You know what I mean? They look to be getting worse. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just me because I don't like them as clubs. So anyway, should we move on to Leicester, because there's not a lot we can say. They can't do anything. They're kind of stuck in limbo with the play until they need to buy a striker, and I think they probably need to sell Rafinha to get one in, to be honest.
And there's not a lot to talk about Leicester either when we get to them.
Yeah, they've got, Lookman's left, finished his loan and gone, and Jakubovic is left, and that's it. Oh, Pratt's come back off his loan, but obviously Rodgers doesn't like him, so can't see him playing much. Yeah.
But did Dennis Pratt impress on his loan stint as much as William Saliba?
Oh, good question. That's a very good question. I think we should throw that one to Dara. What do you think, Dara? Did William Saliba impress more or Dennis Pratt impress more while out on loan? We'll have to wait a while for him to answer because he's probably passed out by now, unconscious from all the mentions of Saliba's name.
Well, he seems to have an Irish name. It would be a shame if he's already passed out.
Well, yeah, could be a lightweight though. Bit like Bazza. So yeah, there's not a lot to say about Leicester, really, is there?
Well, they need someone to like before. They still need a right-sided attacker. Yuri Tillemans is probably leaving, so they need a starting
Well, he
centre
wants out.
midfielder.
Yeah. Unless Pratt
And
comes.
they probably still need a left back because most of the left backs are the right backs playing from the
Yeah.
left side.
And they also, I can't believe that they're going to be able to keep hold of Ndidi for another season. Surely somebody's got to move in and take him off their hands. He's
But I don't see
absolutely
who.
wasted.
Maybe Chelsea, but that's about it because
If
I don't
Chelsea-
think we are going. I don't think we're going after him.
Yeah, but you've got to think,
But
surely somebody's got to take him off their hands by now. He's far too good for Leicester, for the way they're going.
well, I don't think he's good enough on the ball for the way Ten Hag likes his team to play. Otherwise, I would have said he would be very good for us. Like last season, I said, indeed, he was a better option for us than Declan Rice because he suited the way Ole Gunnar played football or wanted his team to play football. But I think, I think this is the best time for teams to go after him as well. He's coming off a so-so average season,
Well,
mostly because of injuries.
No,
Mostly because of injuries.
he was played in centre back most of the season as well. He was swapped between centre back and
Defensive midfield. Okay.
So so he's it's difficult for him to settle in and play well. You best around and you look at that Leicester side.
No, I'm not having a go at Ndidi. No.
I'm just saying. I'm just
right now,
explaining why.
his reputation is not as high as it was before. He has 2 years left on his current deal.
25 years old, so he's just coming up to his peak years.
Yeah. So and not a lot of teams seemingly showing interest. So you shouldn't have as much competition. But having said that, surely Leicester won't want to lose both their central midfielders in the same window.
It is bizarre that he's still there. They've done well to hold on to him. What do you think of Tielemans? Would you take him at United?
No, if I wanted someone like Tielemans, then I would have been just calling for Pogba to get a new contract.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, he's not. I
don't think he's a bad player.
But he doesn't work hard enough. He's
yeah,
not
that
one
is
of
what
those
I'm
players
saying. He's another waste of so much talent.
Yeah, it's not like Saliba where you can see the quality's there and the effort. Hey, hello, Dada. There's another one for you. I hope somebody's got got ready to get him an ambulance if he's got alcohol poisoning. Should we move on?
Moving on.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say about Leicester. They ain't really getting him. Surprised they're not investing more because they know maybe they're waiting for Tielemans to go before they spend. Or maybe it's because Rodgers is not on firm ground at the moment. Maybe they're not really backing him as they were. So Liverpool's in an
But
interesting
you
one.
either back him or sack him. Come on.
Yeah,
Back him
well,
or
yeah,
sack him.
I'd sack him. But
And I would go with the one that
yeah, but I don't
everybody
think they
knows.
will. So we do Liverpool, obviously the big out, Sadio Mane, big loss, great player, but he did look to be on the downward slope. Takumi Minamino, I'd
But
miss
even
him,
more,
but he didn't
like
play
just
enough.
on, so just to get back to Mane. The bigger thing is he wanted to go.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's
Yeah, and
like-
he's got a track record of going on strike when he wants to move, so there was no point even trying. And they've come out with all kinds of things, all kinds of stories to justify him wanting to go, and it just sounds embarrassing.
No, I don't think he needed any other narratives. It's just like he joined Liverpool with the idea of winning everything. He achieved it.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah. Well, I don't see the issue. I don't know why the players seem to want to justify the choice. You know, that they want to move. You know, it's good luck to you.
And it's a move to a different country where he's never played.
Yeah,
A team that is going to be challenging for top honors. He's getting a new, like everything.
Yeah,
Like, I don't.
He's got a big, big wage rise, but he come out. I mean,
Yeah, I don't understand why people are criticizing him, and I don't understand why he has to come out with different kinds of justification.
As I look on it, he gets 5% of the transfer fee at loan. You know, when this is a man that does so much good stuff for the community with his money, I've got no problem with him taking the money at all. Even if that's what he's chosen to do, it just really doesn't bother me. Good luck to him. I think he's given us 5, 6 years, was it? And he's been brilliant. Couldn't be happier for the lad, to be honest. Yeah, we'll probably miss him, but Diaz has already replaced him on the left, and we've brought in Nunes to replace him up front. I really don't see any.
No, don't go to the ins right now. We're still on the outs.
But I'm just saying, I think it's a good move for all parties concerned, to be honest. Yeah, the one that there's a couple I will miss, but he's not one of them. I mean, Minamino just got criminally underused for me. I think he's better than he got allowed to show, and I think Monaco have got themselves a bug in there. I think he'll be great for them. He worked. I mean, you've got to love a player who, when he's not getting in the team, he just stays behind after training and does extra work on his own. You've got to admire a player who does that, and that's what he did. So, he didn't come out.
Well, English media doesn't like those players, but that's the issue.
Yeah, otherwise he'd be they'd have been full of him. But yeah, Grealish gone as well, but he was out on loan, never played, so he fell foul because he didn't train hard enough, so no loss really. Origi, I love Origi, and we'll miss his.
But whom do you love more, Origi or William Saliba?
Oh, Origi's I love Origi. Football without Origi's nothing, mate. Football without Origi is nothing. I mean, how can you not love a man who scores that goal against Everton when Pickford knocks it up in the air, remember? And then, obviously, the quickly taken corner. He'll forever have a place in my heart for that quickly taken corner goal. Because how many other players could have had the intelligence to have spotted that Trent Alexander-Arnold had the ball quickly and was ready to play it in? And there's very few. He's a very intelligent lad, and he spends a lot of money on. He provides
scholarships.
Yeah, scholarships at Liverpool University, and he's carrying on funding that. I love him, absolutely love the lad, and I just hope he's a massive success in Milan.
I can tell you why someone maybe doesn't like him enough. It's because he's too laid back.
Oh yeah, he is, but that's just the way he is.
That's part of his problem. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and say he could have been the best striker, but he could have done much more with his career than
he could have done. And I feel it does bother me that he didn't make most of his career because he's so laid back. But that made him such a good, that's why he was able to score the goals he did for Liverpool. Because he was so laid back, he wasn't bothered when he had the chances, when it was so important. where so many goals were missed by Liverpool players. Like if he'd have been in the Champions League final, for instance, I remain convinced if we'd have brought him on as a sub, Liverpool win that game because he'd have scored.
Wasn't he injured anyway?
Yeah, he was injured.
For the final.
He was injured for the final couple of weeks. He's still injured now. That's why he's not. He signed. Took so long to sign him because he had to wait until he could pass his medical because he wasn't fit enough to take it. But I mean, I love Davy. I really will miss him. He's one of those players that you could rely on, and when it mattered, you could bring him on, and when it mattered, and he'd come on and he'd provide something. Always, especially against Everton. Just seemed to have it in for them, didn't he? But I think he'll be a big loss because we haven't got any. There's nobody I can see that can offer that. There's very few players in the world that offer that ability to come off the bench and just do something in seconds. He only needs 5 seconds, right? Whereas other players, they need 10 minutes to get in the game at least, don't they? But him, give him 5 seconds and you can guarantee he's going to get a chance and usually hit the target. So, and good riddance, I've got to say, good riddance to Ojo and Loris Karius. Sorry lads, but you weren't good enough and you let the team down when you didn't try hard enough on that. Ben Woodburn gone as well, he was never really that good, but I know he came on, he just came through at the right time. He wasn't as talented as people, as people thought, because he was the youngest player to play and score for Liverpool, but he was just, he never quite had that little something, did he? So I don't think he's a loss, to be honest. No offence to the lad, because he'll go on to have a good career at Championship level, I would think, but he's not really got it to play at the top. Unless you might want to argue with me on that, I don't know.
Not really.
Or given I don't know. No. Right, we'll move on to the ins then.
Okay.
Well, Nunez looks a good signing. From what
Slightly on the steep. The price is slightly on the steep side, though.
Well, it is if he's not a success. If he is a success, it can come out looking a bargain. Remember, everyone thought we paid too much for Mane, Van Dijk,
Alisson.
Yeah, well, I don't.
No, but when you pay so much money, the bar for expectation is a bit too much. If he turns out to be your 13-14 goals a season player, he would be a good player, but he just would be an underachiever for how much he paid. So that's the issue.
He'd be overpriced. He needs to be
It brings a lot. It brings a lot of pressure as well, added pressure, added expectation on the players as well.
I heard Brighton tried to sign him a couple of seasons ago. Did you know that?
Brighton tried to sign.
2020.
West Ham tried to sign him. West Ham tried to sign him. Even Man City as well. Even Man City wanted to sign him.
No, I mean in 2020. Do you know why they didn't? Why he ended up at Benfica? They had the deal all agreed with the club, Almeria, but COVID-19 restrictions stopped him being able to travel across to England to speak to them face to face, and Benfica stepped in the meantime and paid 20 million for him or whatever it was they bought him for. That was
and they also had what, I think, was it 20% sell on for Almeria?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think that is like that's quite a deal for Almeria, man.
Yeah.
20, I think it's 22 million or 23 million, something like that. The fee he moved to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
but he would 20%.
But he could have been at Brighton otherwise. I mean, we're always saying Brighton need a striker. They're clearly trying to get one. I mean, when you look at him going to Liverpool afterwards, they must be so gutted if he succeeds. how bad would you feel at Brighton if he succeeds? You know you had the deal done and it's only COVID-19 that stopped him signing.
Man, he moved for 34 million euros from Almeria to
Oh right, was it
Benfica.
that much? I thought it was 20 million. I don't know.
That is what Transfermarkt has. 34 million euros for a player from the second division in Spain.
Yeah, I mean he's highly rated. Everyone seems to love him. Physically, he looks the part, doesn't he?
Well, the issue with him is his knees. How much are they gonna affect him
Yeah,
in his future?
the modern, the modern science seems to be that that doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. They seem to be able to come back from it. It doesn't seem to be so much of an issue anymore. But yeah, you would worry. I mean, it's young age though. It's probably be more
But
of an
the
issue if
three
he was
knee,
26 and 27 or something when they were, when he had them knee injuries. But he's 23
yeah, but
now.
three knee injuries and two major knee surgeries. You
Yeah,
have to be a little worried.
yeah. You do. It has to
And
be.
one thing from watching football I've learned about ACL injuries is once you get one in one of your knees, you're more likely to get it in another knee as well because of lack of activity for so much time.
Mm. But the modern science, the modern medical science seems to be able to cure them quite well now. They seem to, they seem to go on and play really well afterwards rather than like before.
Yeah, like
Where,
Van Dijk, for example.
yeah, so yeah, it is
Well,
a fingers crossed kind of thing,
hopefully
isn't
it's
it?
not injuries that curtails his career.
Mm.
You hate to say it, even if it's for a rival. It's never
Yeah.
nice.
Other than that, it's Carvalho looks a good prospect. Wanted to play for Liverpool, which is always a good thing. He's desperate to come to Liverpool to play along. I don't know whether that's to play alongside Harvey Elliott or whether he wanted to play for Liverpool, but he was desperate to join. And Calvin Ramsey, the right back, which I'm not sure Liverpool actually needed a right back, but he's such a good prospect. You just, sometimes you have to take them, don't you? And they're offered at that price.
Yeah, but from his point of view, I don't understand why.
No, I don't, because
Because
he's only going to be a backup.
you can't expect yourself to be displacing Trent Alexander-Arnold from his place.
No, not for a few years. He's 22 years old, and he's Trent now.
Yeah,
Really?
if let's say Trent was 28, 29, then maybe you can say by the time you're 22, he will be getting on a bit and all those things. But unless there's some plan for Trent to move positions in his later years.
Yeah.
But you can't be signing players right now for what you have in mind for 4 years.
No.
Because 4 years ago you didn't have Trent Alexander as a right back in mind.
Exactly. Yeah, it is an odd signing, but it does allow Nico Williams to be sold, I suppose. But it just seems odd from his point of view.
Yeah, his point of view, I think it's an odd move for him.
The oddest one. I mean, it's not as odd a move as the Ben Davies signing or William Saliba signing, of course, as well. Dara, thank you. You can thank me later, mate. But that Ben Davies signing, I mean, what was that all about? I've never understood that one. I don't think I ever will. He's the one Liverpool player that I wouldn't recognise if I saw him in the street. If I was out, if me and the missus bumped into him and his missus on holiday and we were having a kickabout and a meal with him later, like that couple did with Fabinho, you wouldn't even put that on social media because you wouldn't think you'd know he was a Liverpool player, would you? Let's be honest.
You probably wouldn't know he's a footballer, let alone Liverpool player.
Yeah, that's a really bizarre signing, and it'll probably never make sense, that one. But you look at the Liverpool squad; they do need to move on a couple of centre backs because they do seem a bit heavy. And Reece Williams, he improved massively when he played for a, that season covering injury, but he's definitely not good enough. He's just not. He's not going to be. He's never going to improve his pace, and he's always going to be too slow for the top level for me. Davies, I mean, he clearly needs to go because he's never going to get in the team, is he?
He didn't get in the team when all your centre backs were injured.
He was injured as well, mate. That was the thing.
He joined
them on the treatment table.
6 months. For 6 months, he played 0 games. So
yeah, he got injured. So I mean, he came in and he was when all them got injured, he got injured as well. So he was just on the treatment table with them. It's like it was just we never got to find out if we could have made it. But I doubt it anyway. I don't think he was ever. Yeah. The one thing I don't get with the Ramsey signing is it does close off a pathway to people like Bradley and that who look very good players in the youth system. And I know they'll probably go out on loan, but.
And just in time when we're talking about Liverpool, we have a Liverpool supporter on.
Oh,
G'day, fellas.
Rob's woken up. Way.
Howdy, Rob.
Good morning.
Just one thing to let you know, in case you've not seen the YouTube stream, Darrag's doing a U tonight. He's having beers and seeing how long he can stay awake listening to Seamus. He said he's having a shot for every time I mention Saliba, but obviously I never mentioned William Saliba, so he's not been able to have a drink yet. Poor guy, he's just hanging on waiting for me to say the word Saliba, and it just hasn't happened at all, has it, Seamus? Actually, I think he's in an alcohol coma by now. Poor guy.
How's it been going?
Good, mate. It's good timing because we're just discussing Liverpool now. We've been going through the teams alphabetical order, just talking about how they've got on this transfer window, and we were just literally just about to finish on just finishing off Liverpool. So it's good timing. You can come in and have some input on the ins and outs and what you think of them.
Well, there's still a fair bit of time to go. So far, you'd have to say, as a Liverpool fan, you'd be really happy. So, do we have the names in front of us? Do you know every single one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to go through them for you? Outs.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. I'll try to wing it without looking. Also, Sadio Mane.
Which is a massive loss. Yep.
And Takumi Minamino.
Yep.
And then Ben Woodward. Shei Ozo or Oyo, Loris Karius, those are the guys.
Grujic and Origi.
And Grujic as well. And Origi, you need to give him a bit of build up as well.
Yeah, he needs a special one because that is a special one.
And and the most important player on the list and the one this is saddest to go see is.
Yeah.
Divock Origi.
Because football is nothing without Origi. I'm still calm. That is. Do you know what? The big news is really. I mean, it is the big signing of the transfer window for Liverpool was Salah's new contract. I think.
Yeah.
Do you
I did not see that one coming.
I think that was the one that made.
Nobody did.
The most exciting.
I think nobody saw that one coming.
I think that's for me the moment when I really got excited for this season. I think. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
What happened there?
You can't be blamed. You can't be blamed for how you feel, Trist, because pretty sure everyone will be feeling the exact same way. It looked like for a long time that he was gonna probably just run his contract down this season and move on after this upcoming season to wherever it was, Barcelona or whoever. But for him to re-sign for another 3 seasons, pretty much guarantees that we'll have the he'd be there for 8 or 9 or however many seasons it is, and we would have got the best out of him. So his prime years he'll spend at Liverpool. I'm sure he'll score many more goals to come. And yeah, that's probably our signing of the window, and it doesn't even come in form of a player signing. It's more of a re-signing. So I 100% agree with you.
I think
Do you think
I think I
Rafa-
might have cried when that happened, to be honest. Tears of joy.
Do you think Rafa Honigstein and Salah had a conversation before the contract signing?
Well, Honigstein-
Maybe Honigstein told him that Barca are struggling for survival.
He's a
financial
Honigstein, a
survival.
Liverpool fan, so might well have done.
I think so.
He is.
I don't know
I
whether
believe he's a Liverpool
he's a
fan.
club fan. He's a club fan,
yeah.
so he must.
He might be a Klopp fan rather than Liverpool fan, but I'm pretty sure he said he favours Liverpool in England. But that might be because it's Klopp rather than Liverpool, to be fair.
Very good news. There's a few key outs.
Do you know what he was
On the
talking
outs-
about? What he was referring to, by the way, on that by Honigstein having a word with him? Because he came.
No, I
out
don't.
today-
The only thing I
He
know-
came out today and said, or yesterday, I can't remember which it was. He came out today or yesterday and said that the reason why Bayern won't do it and not making a deal with Barcelona for Lewandowski is not because the price isn't good enough, or because they don't want to deal with him and they're not willing to let Lewandowski go, but it's because Barcelona want to pay in instalments, and Bayern are worried and believe that Barcelona will go into liquidation in the next year or two.
Really?
Yeah,
That is what he believes.
that is what Honigstein has said. That
Bayern believes.
yeah. Whether it's true or not, I mean, we've only got his word for it, but it's still from someone like him, it's an interesting comment, because he's not known for his big outlandish statements, is he?
Well,
No, and he's a respected Bayern. He's not before, like he's well known for covering Bayern rather than it's a bit like Ornstein at Arsenal. Like he's well known for being close to Bayern.
No, I think there's another journalist who's even closer with Bayern. Christian Falk.
Yeah, he's the big, he's the close one. I mean, the big name for them. Did you see? I showed you. Yeah. Did you see the footage of? Speaking of journalists who cover clubs, the Barca journalist.
Gerard Romero.
Romero, that's him. Doing it with the Luis Suarez interview. Did you actually watch it? In the end?
No.
If anybody that's listening, if there is anybody that's listening, if you've got it,
Dara.
look it
There's
up.
Dara.
Yeah, he'd be too pissed. He won't be able to find anything. He won't be able to do a Google search right now. Let's be honest, because every time we mention Saliba, he's had a shot. So he's probably comatose right now. But yeah, if you got the chance, look up the Gerard Moreno interview with Luis Suarez. It was on Twitch, and what he does is every time Romero or Moreno, I can't remember now, but you'll be able to find it.
It is Gerard Romero.
Romero. Yeah, he does, every time he gets a new subscriber on Twitch, he does this little dance. It's just his hands, throwing his hands about, sort of thing. They compare it to the hacker, but it's not really like the hacker. It's just the waving his arms. He does this particular dance anyway. So he's in the middle of interviewing Luis Suarez when he gets the ping to tell him that he's got a new subscriber. So he just breaks out this. He just says to Luis Suarez, "Hang on a sec," and starts doing this dance. And Luis Suarez is on this Skype call with him, and his face is an absolute picture because he's just absolutely bemused. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's just one of those. It is a moment you should watch if you get the chance. It's brilliant, because he hasn't got a clue what's going on. Hasn't got a clue at all. I think he thinks the guy's lost the plot completely. He's just having a fit or something.
Just because he does a little dance.
Yeah, it is. It is a bizarre thing. It is something you're watching. You think, what the fuck is he doing? Like, if you don't know why he's doing it, you would be confused because it doesn't make any sense. He just starts waving his arms around, like. But it is worth a watch. Anyway, sorry, I digressed. And it wasn't even to mention Saliba, so sorry, Dara. Where
There
were
you
we?
go. I posted it.
Oh, you found it, did you? You posted it on.
Yeah.
You need to post the link on the on YouTube, on the
Discord.
channel. No, on the channel. I'll copy and paste that link on here as well.
Oh, you're posting it on YouTube as well.
Yeah, because I think that deserves to be watched. I mean, I know it means they'll bugger off from watching us, but it's not like we've got 300 viewers anyway, is it? So yeah, so what do
Whichever viewers.
you fancy both of them might be busy watching that now, so we can talk about what the fucking hell we want now for the rest of it. Hey, what do you think of our chances then for next season now?
But yeah, well, it'll be more of the same, I think. Going up against the juggernaut Man City, I think it's, I still don't think any of the other clubs will bridge that gap over this season. That's between Liverpool City and the rest of them. So I think it's going to be those two fighting it out again for the title. It'd be really nice if we could pip them for it this year, because it kind of sucks when you keep finishing on over 90 points and not winning the Premier League. So fingers crossed something happens this year and we do end up winning it. But with the inclusion of Salah and having him locked down for another 3 years is huge. So I probably don't expect much more in the window, to be honest. I know how many times it's been spoken about on the site. Liverpool, the way they kind of conduct business is always very early. They like to get their stuff done early, and it's when the right player is available at the right time for the right price. So unless something pops up from now to the end of the window that looks good
Bellingham
to them,
becomes available, you mean?
Yeah, I mean that'd be the dream.
He has,
but I can't.
because it's not just me
Yeah.
who said it now. Now Square Tomato's confirmed he's told the England boys that if he's got the choice, he'll sign for Liverpool. That'd be his choice. Would be his
Well,
preference.
Square Tomato was mentioning how Joe Gomez
Yeah.
about a week or so ago signed a new contract and then just been confirmed now. So that guy definitely
Yeah,
has
it's
some
his
sort of insight.
Joe Gomez is.
Yeah, he's definitely got some sort of insight with Joe Gomez. So yeah, if anyone's listening here, either live or on the playback, Square Tomato is definitely one to have a look at on the sites, because he does have some insights. Bellingham would be absolutely incredible to sign, but
I'm just glad he
unfortunately,
because I've been saying that for a while. He's definitely been saying it. He's been telling people for a long time Liverpool's where he wanted to go.
it would be awesome. And he's still so young. He's
Are
still
you
so
guys-
young. He's got so much time and years ahead of him.
Are you guys talking about Bellingham?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sad. I'm sad to read Square Tomatoes post. No, I'm that guy who I'd rather him move to Spain or Italy than go to Liverpool
Of
or
course.
Man City or Chelsea.
Of course. But yeah, unless
He
something
hasn't
pops up-
actually moved.
Pardon?
Players can have at least he hasn't actually moved to Liverpool. Players can have different inclination then, but then
Klopp loves him.
things can change.
No, like we just saw with Mbappe and things like that, things can
Yeah.
always change. And that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people understand when it comes to transfers. Like, I'm not in the business of it myself, but when you follow it so closely for so long, you do see that things look to be 100% nailed on, only for a last second change for it to either go the other way or stay where they are. So we've seen it countless times. The few examples that spring to my mind was like Fekir, for his own reasons. I remember Do you remember Tris back?
Yeah, he's all
I
the
don't know how many
videos
years
and
ago it
everything
was.
with them. Signing videos and everything
You-
with them with here.
Do you remember Sylvain Marveau?
Yeah, he changed his mind. Yeah, well, that was a different era, to be fair.
Yeah, different era, but I'm just the ones that spring to my mind. For example, even Loic Remy, just things like
Remy
that.
was
So,
a failed medical.
Who was it that was, yeah, he failed a few medicals. Who was it that missed a flight? Was on a flight and turned back. I can't remember. It was it was a winger. Was it Simao or someone like that? One of
If
them.
you're
I
in
can't
doubt, then it's Sima.
no, it's just the
But
point being.
like Rob, are you aware of the whole John Obi Mikel fiasco?
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
reading a bit about that.
Like he signed for us and then he didn't. Like he literally signed. He literally signed the papers.
Yeah,
He was
and
there at the
and then
for
pulled out.
presentation. Yeah. And then just Chelsea swooped in with a much better offer, much lucrative offer.
How's he able to do that after he's actually signed?
Like he's not signed, but he's like, even if you like I'm pretty sure when you're signing the papers, it's just a formality. You have to again just complete the other official papers, right?
Well, no, he went to court, didn't they? They went to court. They went to court and everything to get it.
I think we went to court. I think we
that's what I'm saying,
went to court.
to hold him to it, and they ended up they had to pay compensation, didn't they? To get him out of the contract, basically, pay a cancellation fee for the contract.
He wasn't a bad player for Chelsea in the early days.
Do you think so? Obi Mikel? I
But
thought
he wasn't that great.
he
He wasn't that great.
Yeah, I
It
didn't.
wasn't
rate him.
excellent, but I
Chelsea went
amazing.
through all that trouble and
wasn't
just
good
got a squad player.
Yeah, I think he was one
Not
of the
worth it.
first symptoms of their decline for me. Oh, he's one of
Really?
yeah, I think he was one of the first. You know, the way they started to drift off to being by far and away the best team in England is the signings of people like him who just weren't good enough to improve them. They were just players who sat on the bench and filled in a gap when they needed it, and they weren't really.
Where was he signed from?
Midtjylland.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And I don't like the fact that I actually know.
No, that's good knowledge.
really
Steve.
obscure.
It's impressive. It shows you obviously haven't been playing the Saliba drinking game with Dara, doesn't it? Because you can still remember. If you had been, there's not a chance in hell you'd have remembered any of that. Should we move on to Man City now, though, before because we talk a lot on Liverpool, so I think it's time we move on to Man City. I mean,
Well,
they've had one hell of a window. Interesting.
Well, they've already won the league for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
Maybe they've won the league for 20 years now.
Well, I mean, you've got to say there's a few worries I have about them. Like Bernardo Silva wants out to go to Barcelona, which again we stir. Again, why Barcelona? Why would you want to go there? And why would he want to leave? He's at the peak of his powers. He's 27. He's a key player in the Man City season. You know, the Man City squad. Team. He's he's pretty much they're built around him and De Bruyne. Maybe it's because he doesn't get enough attention because De Bruyne gets it all, and partly because obviously Portuguese they love Barcelona or Real Madrid, one or the other, don't they?
I'm really hoping that happens for, obviously, from a Liverpool's perspective.
Yeah, I hate him as a person, but great player.
I was just about to say that as a person, I think he's an absolute rat. But as a player, I can appreciate how good he actually is, and he would be a huge loss if they were to lose him.
A massive loss. I certainly don't think Calvin Phillips is a replacement of anywhere near the same quality, even if he stays fit. which is obviously an issue for him.
Surely they're not signing Phillips to be the replacement for Bernardo Silva. It has to be for Fernandinho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a replacement for Fernandinho, but I'm just saying he's not the quality is lowering. Phillips isn't as good as Fernandinho was at his best, and if they lose Silva, that's a big loss. But I mean, Jesus, not a loss. He wasn't good enough for them. Pedro Porro didn't even play. They're not going to miss him. Ko Itakura again didn't play. They're not going to miss him. Fernandinho was at the end of his career. They needed. But yeah, I don't see Phillips as a step up in class, and Haaland, he's not as good as Aguero was, is he? Let's be honest. He's not got the touch. He's not got the. Do you know what? I think he could turn out to be either fantastic for them and score hatfuls of goals like he seems to have done without actually being that good, or he could turn out to be his Zlatan Ibrahimovic again. That big mistake. I don't know which way it's going to go with him, I've got to say. I'm looking forward to finding out, to be honest.
He's got to keep fit.
Sorry?
He's got to keep fit.
You keep cutting out. All I get is he's got to keep fit.
That is all he's been saying.
Really?
He has to keep fit.
Oh, keep fit. Got you. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's a big thing. But then Aguero always had fitness issues as well. Oh, that they could get away with that. It's just that he's playing in a much more physical. The defenders get tighter to a forward than they do in the Bundesliga and the Austrian league and that. His touch is off. It isn't the best. But he's a big, strong lad. He should be able to take. Again, yeah, he has a lot of injuries. He missed a lot of. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how it goes with him. It could be magnificent, or it could be an absolute disaster for him. Did you see the Serbian head of Serbian FA said Vlahovic is a better player than him because he's more complete?
Yeah, I did.
I can see his point actually, but not sure. But I can see what he's saying.
The thing is, if you are Serbian, you're bound to say it.
Yeah, you're bound to be biased. Let's be honest. But
yeah,
can you see anything in that? Is Vlahovic that good?
You're asking me, so I'm a big Vlahovic fanboy, and I have a thing for Serbia. So I think, and I don't think I'm the most unbiased judge you can get, but given the opportunity, I would have signed Vlahovic for a multitude of reasons.
So I don't think Vlahovic over Haaland as well.
Yeah, for overall package, he's a good. Both very good players. One comes with seemingly comes with less baggage. I don't know much about Vlahovic, but he comes with less baggage, with better injury record, with on paper supposedly much less wages and everything. So I would have signed Vlahovic as well.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing Haaland. But it's like I would.
No, I can. The only thing I can see about I've heard about Vlahovic that would worry me is some people criticise his work rate.
But I think it's because he's playing alongside Alvaro Morata, for example, whose game is more about dropping deep, creating, or pressing, and all those things. His game is, I think, for me, Vlahovic reminds me a lot of the current Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right.
But slightly more mobile.
Right. Okay.
Get the ball, then just precise attack towards the ball.
Yeah, probably not suited to Manchester City then.
Probably. Yeah, but he's young. There are benefits of having a player that's still young. You can talk your way with them. You can win them over. You can't go to Cristiano and ask him to press.
True. True. That's a good point. Yeah, no, I get that.
Speaking of Cristiano, you probably have already spoken about it, Deeps, but how do you
No,
feel
no,
about
we've not.
We do Man
We've only.
United next, so
Ah, okay.
yeah, so we haven't got to him yet, mate. Don't worry, you'll have your chance to ask.
Bloody wait.
Yeah, we go into alphabetical order. City comes before United. I know this is difficult for an Australian to understand as you're upside down there. God, the jokes get weird on here. I'm sorry, I apologise. Darrow's probably the only person who's laughed, and that's only because he's so pissed he'll laugh at anything. So yeah, we're not sure on their signings then, because they've only signed whether they take them forward. I know people seem to think that's it, they've won the league for definite now. But I still, they obviously
coming.
Cucurella will make a difference, I think, if they do definitely get in, but they could be losing Sinchenko and Ake, which means their left back cover's still consistent.
Gone.
Yeah, they've still got one left back again. Yeah, they do. I don't know. I mean, if they lose Silva and they do lose Zinchenko and you do have to wonder have they actually improved that much. But then Cole Palmer's a year older, and he looks a good prospect.
They've still got Liam Delap on the books, unless he moves.
Yeah,
They've
true.
so many players leaving their academy for first team opportunities elsewhere.
And they've still got Grealish though, so
That
you
is
know.
that is
Yeah,
why.
100 million pounds, really.
That is why they can afford so many big moves, because they sell these young obscure players, obscure players that never play for them for
Decent
5-10 million.
Yeah.
3-4 of them, and then you're fine.
And they've got 40 odd million coming their way for Raheem Sterling as well, haven't they, by the looks of it?
Yeah.
By the way, Rob, what's your take on Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal?
As in,
The
what
move.
do I think?
Yeah. What do you think of Gabriel Jesus?
On a
I
scale
think
of
that Arsenal-
Maguire to Saliba, that's the scale we're using.
Maguire being world shit and
I think he can
Saliba
work
being
out.
world class.
I think he's
I
figured that
just
out,
think-
to be honest.
I think if Arsenal fans think in their head that they're going to be getting a prolific striker who's going to be, pushing them up into the top four and challenging for Champions League places and winning titles or winning any sort of silverware, that's not what he is. I don't think he's any good at all, really. I just think he's a Lacazette with a bit of hair. That's what I see. They lost one and they got another. So I just think it's the same old shit.
One of the guys on the Arsenal site actually said, I don't gamble, so I didn't take him up on it. But he offered me a bet that Jesus should score more goals than Nunes this season. And Darwin Nunes.
I don't know about that.
I thought that was one of
Chris
those
has
bets
met-
you just go, oh God, please.
Chris has met quite a few friends. Quite a few friends over on the
site.
on the Arsenal page.
Why are they so excited about Gabriel Jesus?
I don't get it.
Maybe because he has previously worked Miguel Arteta.
Yeah, but when you shit, you know what I mean? Like,
And he's a bit of a Robbie Keane, because he's told them all he's been an Arsenal fan all his life. Funny how it's never come up before, but now apparently he was an Arsenal fan all his life. He always loved Arsenal, always been desperate to play for them. That's why he signed for Man City.
I mean, look, good luck to him going there and whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, if I was an Arsenal fan, or even if for whatever reason that Gabriel Jesus was bought for Liverpool, I wouldn't be too excited about it. I'm not saying he's the worst player in the world or the league, but at the same time, he's never been someone that I've sat there and said, wow, what a player. He's always been bang average for me. Out wide, in the middle, the same for me. He's just a Lacazette with hair.
Yeah, he's not a good player. For me, I'm not.
I paid a pretty fair amount of money for him too, didn't they?
To Arsenal or Man City? Arsenal did 40 odd million, didn't
Yeah,
they?
Arsenal.
50 million.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, they
50 million euros.
They've stumped up a fair fee for him, which I think only really comes for the fact that he's played at Man City and he's been part of teams, squads I should say, that have won trophies. But on a personal level, I don't really see what he brings to them that they already didn't have,
No, I don't.
or what he fixes the problems that they had. I don't see it at all.
No,
I just think Arsenal's going to have the same old season that they've been having for the last few seasons, and nothing's going to change. Especially while Mr. Lego Head's in charge.
Yeah. A lot of people say that about his hair, and it is true.
Yeah,
But anyway,
looks like a Lego character.
back to Man City. We'll quickly before we'll move on to United then. Where can we see them falling away or winning the Champions League, or are they just going to be the same? They look likely they're going to win the Premier League, more than likely because they've got the strongest squad, but they'll struggle in Europe again. What do we think?
I think they're more than likely just going to be very similar. I can't see them winning the Champions League. I mean, it's very early to call anything like that. Anything can happen, but I just think it's going to be more of the same. They're probably going to be the favourites to win the Premier League, for reasons being they are still a good team and they do have the strongest squad depth. But I don't think they'll win the Champions League if I had to make a prediction now. And when it comes to an FA Cup run or such, yes, very likely to happen. But I don't think they'll be falling away too much. But at the same time, so far in the window, I don't really think they've gained either.
Yeah, I can. If they lose Silva and that, and they don't replace them with quality, then you can see them still being the team to beat at the end of the day, even if they lose him.
I still think, if Silva goes to Barca or just say he leaves the club and joins someone else, they'll still be above your Chelsea's, United. They'll still be in that bracket with Liverpool. I can't see. Yeah. I think there's way too much of a gap there. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Some people may think that gap is a bit smaller. I just think the gap is huge between those two and the rest. So I think even if Silva was to leave,
yeah, I can't see it being.
Man City will still be challenging for that title. Will it make them weaker? Yes, he would make them weaker, but at the same time, they'll still be one of the top two teams in England, with or without him.
Yeah, I agree. Can we move on to Man United? And Deeps, take it away, mate. Take it away. I'm sure you're excited by the signing of just what you needed, a left back.
Not to be funny, but we did need a left back as well. But first off, we need to rattle through the departures. Well, the Matic is off. Does it make too much sense? I don't know. Because we don't have any midfielders. And then Paul Pogba, good riddance. About to join Juventus. Jesse Lingard, don't care. Good riddance. Edinson Cavani, don't care. Good riddance. Juan Mata, didn't play enough. League retired. Who cares? And then Dean Henderson moved to Nottingham Forest. Again, a lot of money for someone who is going to be backup for us. So I hope at least I hope they pay most of his wages, if not all. And then we brought in Title Malacia. Never heard of him before Erik Ten Hag joined. I'll be honest, never heard of him before he joined. But surely he can't be much worse than what's his name, Luke Shaw.
What was the other one you got?
We've not brought anyone else in because Frankie De Jong, the move is still not completed. I say you either seal the deal or just walk off.
Yep.
But then that's about it. Anything else is more like speculation than factual. Well, it looks like Andreas Pereira is gonna move to Fulham as well. We discussed it on the Fulham section of the podcast as well. But this just doesn't look that easy for Ten Hag and the whole club right now, trying to get players. Nobody seems to want to join. Nobody that we're after seems to want to join. And it's not a.
You've got players who want to leave.
Yeah, there's someone. I don't know if people have heard about him. There's a guy named Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know how good he is. Don't know how many goals he scored. I think he plays with someone like Portugal. Not achieved much, but he seems to want out. And it's not like he was a top scorer last season or anything. No, but being more serious, I don't mind it too much. I would prefer him to stay for one more season simply because we can't be trying to sign a whole new team. Basically, we need to keep some players as well, and we don't have strength nor depth in forward line right now. So I would be happy to have him stay, but I don't mind him going either. I said it before as well, not a single player I will be sad to see leave. On the basis of the way they played last season. Not a single guy I would be.
Do you think that he'll leave?
I think he probably will.
Now.
Pardon?
He's on indefinite leave right now.
Yeah, I just noticed he's not coming on the pre-season tour to Australia, which is probably going to...
You must be gutted, man. You must be gutted.
My friends. I definitely won't be gone, but a lot of my friends.
You forgot on your outs, by the way. You forgot about Nemanja Matic and Paul Pogba.
Matic was the first guy.
Jesse Lingard.
No.
Lee Grant. I mean, how are you going to manage without Lee Grant? Now he's retired.
You do know what his job description beforehand was.
I think he was
he used to show the numbers for players coming in and out when there was substitution. He was the guy holding the board up. I remember he did it once at least.
Yeah, he's a coach though, isn't he?
How the hell can we have so many keepers on the books? Even if it is for nothing, but why? De Gea, the highest paid player in the league, then Dean Henderson, top 10 highest player goalkeeper in the league, and then we bring in Tom Heaton, and then we still have Lee Grant who never played. I just don't understand this club. There is no cohesion in the thought and the action and everything. So.
There'll obviously be a bit of activity. You're going to want to hope you don't spend a window chasing a player, which has happened before. Spend chasing the player the whole window and he never comes.
I think De Jong will be sorted because simply the issue is Barcelona need him out. Got to get rid. They have to.
No, but the thing is,
can't afford to pay him. It's going to cost him. It's going to cost them nearly 20 million to keep him.
No, but Chris, the thing is, if it takes so long, then other teams can jump in as well. He's not a bad player. He's a good player. Other teams will just get the opportunity to jump in. if we had acted swiftly and completed the deal, then Nunez wouldn't be playing for Liverpool. He would be playing for Man United. Just an example.
Hmm.
We did it, we took our time, Liverpool swoop in and then just completed the whole deal.
But not being funny,
I
he
think he's
didn't
still the
dilly
chosen.
dally. Yeah, I was going to say he would still have had the option to go to Liverpool, and I still think right now he's not going to choose. No offence to men, but like if you've got the choice of joining Liverpool or joining Man United right now, you and you know you're going to play. You know, if you're joining them as a squad player, you might think United you got a better chance of playing. But if you're joining them as a first choice signing, I think you're going to choose Liverpool right now, unless you're a Man United fan, aren't you?
Mm.
Don't you think, Deeps?
Yeah, I agree. Like, taking aside my support for the club, if I'm suggesting if let's say even let's say Frankie de Jong comes in and says, "Do you think I should join United?" I would say, "What's the hurry? Look around if you get other good options. Maybe a PSG, a Bayern Munich, and then consider other moves as well. Because right now, let's face it, we don't know how the team is going to play. We don't know how I think Ten Hag is going to be a very good manager. He's going to be like he's going to be the next Guardiola, next Klopp. But you still don't know. Maybe he just becomes the next Andre Diaz-Boas.
Yeah, good point.
No, good, but not as good as everybody thought he was going to be. That can happen as well. Because I remember when Chelsea had just brought in Andres Villas-Boas, it looked like, oh, that's sorted for the future, and it didn't even last about a year.
Yeah, he was such a huge name at one point. They thought he was going to, when he stepped up to replace Jose Mourinho, wasn't it? Well, he stepped up. Did he replace Jose Mourinho, or was it come a bit afterwards? But he was,
No. I think he replaced Ancelotti, is it?
yeah, it was one in between, wasn't there? One or two in between and that way. But yeah, he's never quite. To be honest, I think the problem with him is to be a main man, you need to be obsessed. You need to be absolutely 100% dedicated and obsessed to the game to really be the best at the top level. You know, the Klopps, the Pep Guardiolas, they live and breathe football. It's everything to them. Andre Villas-Boas it isn't everything to him.
I kind of see what you mean, because with Mourinho, there was a time when you could see a football obsessed man.
Yeah, everything was football. He was.
And right now, like when you look at him, he just seems like a guy who works in football.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Yeah,
some different.
he's not got that same fire in his belly. He's not got to prove himself anymore. See, he was trying to prove himself to Barcelona. Once he won that title at Real Madrid and beat Barcelona to it, I think that was it for him, because there was nothing left for him to do. You know what I mean? He'd done everything he set out to do. He'd won the Champions League, he'd won league titles, and he beat Barcelona after they basically said, "You're just a translator, you're not good enough." You know what I mean? So he got the chance to stick the middle finger up to Chelsea, and I think that was it for him. I just don't think he's ever been the same. Maybe it's just me that thinks that, though.
Well, we have so many. We've been linked with so many players, mostly from Ajax.
Yeah.
But the issue is Ajax have already sold about half the team.
What happens with Timber? Because I've seen a lot
But
of.
Timber ain't moving. He ain't moving.
No. I mean, not that. I meant. Sorry. I'll
Martin
explain
Wood.
what I was saying. I've seen a lot of United fans upset with him for something, and I don't know what it was. That was all. I didn't actually get a chance to look up and see what it was they were upset over.
I remember him posting probably that. I think he said he posted something like "no" with 3 red crosses and something like that. But it's just off the top of my head.
Yeah, I thought it was something he'd posted or something, because of the way the reaction seemed a bit more than just, oh, he hasn't moved
But
towards...
come on, he's a guy who said like he doesn't want to be moving unless he's for Man City. So before Ten Hag joined, he was Man City. Maybe people just found that out now.
That could be it then. So yeah, so that was done well.
This is the post he had.
Yeah.
Still here though.
Christ, Torquay must be up in arms about that then. Sorry, Deeps, you won't get that joke. It's just like population of Torquay drops massively every time United have a home game. They've got a large
I still
support.
don't get it.
They've got a large support. You know, a lot of it's a joke. That's why a lot of the a lot of I think it's Leeds fans that refer to Man United as Devon FC and that, because they've got a large portion of fans come from Torquay. It's just one of those odd things where people come from, you know, a different area regularly to go to watch Man United. So Torquay's the one for Man United. With Liverpool, it's always been Norway. With Everton, it's Wales. You know, there's always, like, every club has a large following from elsewhere. There's always one. What have you posted up? Still here though. Oh, right. Okay.
You got Christian Eriksen coming in, Deeps.
Possibly, yeah. Because he's agreed.
And like I said last week,
signed it yet.
Like I said last week, quiet. Of all the positions to be filling right now, number 10 who can kind of play number 8. Like we already have two. We already have two players, and we already have a youngster coming through as well. So 3 players already in a similar position.
Yeah, it's a bizarre
We've got
one.
Bruno, and we've got Bruno, we've got Donny, and we've got Hannibal.
That's him.
We're going to play a similar role. And what a name, Hannibal.
Suarez. Sorry, Hannibal the Cannibal.
Hannibal Mesbray. Hannibal Mesbray.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I don't know why but he must know.
Oh, and he is another yellow card walking as well. Like we were discussing before. Hannibal is another yellow card walking.
Yeah, yeah, but I still think he's...
Have you seen him play ever? Like, even for the US team?
I don't think has he ever played a game without getting a card? Because
I don't know.
He's one of those you watch and you just think, oh God.
He's a
Oh
wind-up merchant.
Yeah.
And people get so pissed off with Bruno and his antics. They've not seen nothing.
Oh yeah, wait till they see Hannibal. They'll love him.
Like one of his biggest attributes is winning penalties.
Oh, right.
He wins them. He knows how to get upset.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Jack Grealish. Somehow manages to get a free kick or penalty when nobody's near him.
Oh,
what's that going on show like?
He's someone who can dive, Hannibal, and ask the referee for a yellow card for his opponent. He's that kind of a guy. I think he once got sent off for asking a yellow card for his opponent. I think he got his second yellow by just for asking the referee to send his opponent to give his opponent the card or something like that. Garnacho is too young, and I don't like how Argentina are treating him. It's too soon for him right now.
What about that?
He's not even.
Garnacho,
I said. Yeah, Garnacho. He's not even played like for us in the senior football. He's not even played under 23s as it used to be last season, and he's being called up by the national team. That's just wrong. That can just mess careers up.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can see that.
Because
looks a good player.
You got looks a good player, and his idol is play. He Oh, do you remember he got in trouble by sharing a picture with Cristiano with the caption "Goat"?
Hmm.
Aguero didn't like it, and he was commenting on that post.
Yeah. Well, well, of course he's going to say goat when he's playing it. It's his teammate.
But like even if let's just taking aside him being his teammate, okay, it is reported that even before United signed Cristiano, it was reported that Renato's idol was Cristiano. You're allowed to have Cristiano as your idol, man. Come on,
Mm.
it can't be Messi or no one for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I can see the argument between the two of them anyway, but neither of them are the greatest ever for me. But yeah, I can see the argument. There's an argument for either of them. Anyway, I think we should move on to Newcastle now. Because they're
That nobody significant leaving the team. Freddie Woodman, the guy who gifted Cristiano 2 goals on his homecoming.
yeah, he's not a good keeper. And Isaac Hayden, who
was not even registered for the squad last season.
I felt a bit sorry for him.
In the second half, I think.
I think he was a decent enough player for them, and he deserved a bit better treatment, to be honest.
Yeah, but there's like his collateral damage is what he calls.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it just seems a shame to just cast him aside like that. I understand getting, selling him or moving him on, send him out on loan, but not just not register him in the squad. That's harsh. That's really that feels a bit nasty. Like if you are, when you've given good service to the club, and he has given good service to them.
Yeah, but you can only have 25 players in a squad. That's the issue.
Yeah, but, I just think there's other players that they should have got rid of first. I mean, they've got that useless, bald-headed Voldemort.
John Josel?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a nice word for twat, but I can't think of one. So he's a twat. I can't stand John Joe Shelby. I hated him when he was at Liverpool. So shit, you're not going to like his terrible play. He's far too slow. He's ridiculously overrated. He's a red card waiting to happen. He constantly causes issues for his own team with his poor passing. I know people rave about his pass, long range pass. Yes, but they're always to the wrong place. They're always not where you want them to pass. If you see what I mean. Yes, they're accurate, but he makes the wrong pass. Like he'll put it on the wrong side of a player constantly, or to make them run back rather than run forward and stuff, or that he overhits balls constantly. He's just. I'm not. I just don't think he's very good at all. Other than that, I don't see why they've signed Nick Pope. I don't see how he improves their goalkeeping situation. Is he better than the one they had? Don't see any difference personally. I don't rate Pope at all.
He's not even different. Like you can say maybe okay, one guy isn't good with his feet, another guy. No, he's similar to Dubravka.
Yeah, exactly.
Good keeper, not that bad with his feet.
Yeah, exactly. He's exactly the same as Dubravka, but the only difference is he's English, and that seems to be an Eddie Howe, when he gets his transfers, when he gets allowed to make transfers, he does seem to have a weird thing about signing shite that just doesn't improve the team, and you're thinking, well, why have you signed him? He did buy a lot of players that just seem to be much of a muchness, rather than looking at players saying, well, are they better than what I've got? No, so I won't bother, I'll move on. But he just seems to buy ones that are the same as he's already got. Matt Target, well, he was already there, so that's just kept the squad the same. Sven Botman would be interesting. I know he's highly rated, but I've not really seen a lot of him to judge him. What do you think of him, Deeps? What about you and Rob?
He's a good.
Let's do him on the
player.
Maguire to Saliba scale here, because it's perfect. Centre back, he's a centre back. Come on, where is he on the Maguire to Saliba scale?
I think he's a bit clumsy, so I would say more Maguire than Saliba.
You think he's closer to Maguire than oh, that's an interesting one. So you think they've spent 30 odd million on a player who's not actually that good?
No, but I think it's a bit of Tarkowski's effect. He's much better than what they have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. You do think he's an improvement?
And he's also very young. And he's also still very young.
22,
22, is it?
Yeah.
So he still has room for improvement.
Can I ask you something? Do you rate Lascelles?
Jamal Lascelles?
Yeah.
I don't think even the Newcastle supporters rate him anymore.
I just wondered.
I think a move to Championship makes sense.
Yeah, I think he'd be a bit out of his depth there as well. I don't understand how he's managed to make a career as a captain at Newcastle, to be honest.
I think Pashoon is the word they use for that.
Lucky. Very lucky man. God, how many left backs have they got at the squad now? Target, Lewis, Ritchie, Dummett. Wow. They've got to get rid of some of them. And right backs they've got 3 of as well. I think they really need to trim their squad looking at it. The defence.
Yeah, that is why Isaac Hayden didn't get registered to begin with. Because there's so many other guys. So many players on their books.
Well, and I think it's because he was competing with Guimaraes, who's a very good player. Let's be honest, he's very good. But the
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes. I like him. Not so sure about the rest of their players, to be honest.
But they're surely gonna bring in a few new players.
Surely they're gonna sign a striker.
But half the world is looking out for the striker. Like seriously.
But they've got all the money in the world, so they can just go and buy one. So what's the issue?
Well, they've been trying to get that young guy from France, Hugo Ekitike.
Yeah, but he's turned them down.
Yeah, it seems like the move is finally completed, and then something goes awry, and then he doesn't
Ismail
agree to a move
one as well,
again and again.
And Broja.
Well, I don't think Chelsea have made a decision on Armando Broja.
Do you think where do you think they'll finish this season?
Too early to predict right now. So many weeks to go.
What about you, Rob? If you're away.
He's gone.
Was he?
Rob's phone has died.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought he might have fallen asleep again.
Or maybe it's just a convenient get out for him because he felt sleepy.
Probably. He probably didn't want to embarrass himself again. He's really embarrassed about snoring last night. Bless him. I don't know why he worries. I thought it was the most entertaining thing that's happened on any of our podcasts is him falling asleep twice. Probably says a lot for that podcast. So anyways, we move on to Forest now, and I think
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they've done some good business, haven't they? I know they needed to, but I'm quite impressed with what they've done.
They needed to. That's the issue for them. So they've sold Bryce Samba, the goalkeeper, to loans from France.
Yeah.
Well, they had to because he was on his final year of his leave and didn't want to renew. So
he wanted
fair enough. Now then, Tobias Figueroa to Hull City on a free. Ethan Hovers, they loaned him out to Luton. He made way for Dean Henderson to come in. Carl Jenkinson and Gaetan Bong both left on a free. So it's a decent move, I say. Not a lot of significant talent lost in the outgoings. And they've brought in Taiwo Awoniyi from Union Berlin. Finally, the lad gets a chance to play in the Premier League.
Yeah, 6 years at Liverpool he was. Poor bastard. Couldn't get a work permit until it was too late, you know, when there was no chance of him getting near the team. Such a shame.
Yeah. And then they've also just recently finalized a move for Musa Niakhaté from Mainz.
Yeah,
He's a centre back. That's all I can say.
yeah.
And then
Captain,
Julian Bianco.
he was captain
Yeah,
of
yeah.
mine, so highly
Captain
rated.
of Mainz.
I liked him, so.
Julian Biancone from Troyes.
Again, highly rated.
He's very tall. He's very tall for a right back.
He's not really a
about
right
6
back.
feet.
He's a centre back who can play right back.
And they've also brought in Dean Henderson,
And they've agreed a fee for
Nico Williams.
from Liverpool as well. Yeah, I think he'll be a good signing for them because they need to replace that Jed Spence.
Yep.
And Steve Cooper knows him well.
We
I
did
think
discuss it before and as well. I don't know whether it was on air or not, but we
don't
did
know.
discuss it's a good
I
move.
think they've done good business and they've given themselves a chance, which is all you can hope for really when you're promoted team, isn't it? Out of the promoted
Yep.
teams, I think they're the ones that I would say have
Their
the best
business,
chance of staying
yeah.
up.
Yeah, their business has been the most convincing. Now they just need a centre midfield, I would say, to replace James Garner. Maybe they can try and bring him in again.
I think they need more than that. They still need a striker because they've lost Keenan Davis. Oh no,
Did Keenan Davis play for him?
No, they only lost one, didn't they? I was going to say they lost Keenan Davis to somebody else, but they didn't. They signed Sturridge on a permanent deal. I forgot, my fault. And I was thinking Graben had left and he's still there, so yeah, I haven't lost. I thought they'd lost more. No, they might be all right with that. Because Sturridge and Awoniyi would be pretty much like for like swap if one's out and one's in. And they've got Mighton who can play up front, Johnson who can cover. I like that. Johnson.
Yeah, and Johnson also signed a new deal.
Yeah, that was good getting him to sign that. That was a big thing for them. He's a really good player, and I really like him.
So right now, from the perspective of 7 July? Is it July? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They're the best placed team from the promoter sides to give a real go at staying up.
Yeah, you've got to be impressed with their business and think they've got a chance. If there's one that, if you had to say only one of them's going to stay up from what you can see right now, they'd be the ones you pick as the one that will stay
And
up.
to be honest, their manager is the one that has the most, is it faith? Faith isn't the word. Most hope for.
Yeah,
Because
he looks the best.
Because at least with him, we know that there is a chance he may be good, there is a chance he may be bad. With the other two, you know that they're not good enough.
Yeah,
Because they failed miserably before.
Cooper's impressed in the past. He led it. Didn't he lead England's under-19 World Champions?
Was it under 19 or under 17?
Under-17, actually, you might be right. Under-17 World Cup. He did well at Liverpool Youth, and he did well with Swansea as well, but they just wouldn't give him any funds to spend. Just kept wanting to sell his best players out from under him and that. So he does look a decent head coach, to be honest. I'd certainly say, yeah, I'd give him the best shout. Marco Silva, we know, just hasn't got a clue defensively, and Scott Parker just doesn't seem that good. So yeah, I'm thinking I could see if there's any club, any of them that stay up, I think it'll be them. And I think the next team we're going to go on to is the one that I think is most likely to struggle out of the teams that stayed up last season. Simply because they've stuck with their manager. Ralph Hasenhüttl, because
But
it's
they've
Southampton
done,
that.
yeah, but they've done good bits of business.
Have they?
They've won, for their strategy for the last few years, a year or two or how many, I don't know,
They
has
brought
been
3
to try and
youngsters
pick.
in.
Yeah, it's been to try and pick up the youngsters from the bigger teams.
But are they any good is the question. I mean, I don't know anything about them, so it's up to know.
Well, Gavin Bezzuno comes with a good reputation, and he comes with first team
I've
experience as
seen
well.
him playing for the Republic of Ireland, and I just thought, you know what, he's not a Patson Kelleher. That's what I thought when I watched him. He was only there because Kelleher got injured, admittedly, but I just didn't think he was that good myself. But, like, yeah, maybe when he gets a run of games, he'll look better. I don't know, when he doesn't.
And Armel Bella-Kotchap was someone who Rangnick identified as a good player, so he must have something about him.
Well, I was just thinking the Bazinu thing as well, though. You've got to look at it compared to who he's replacing, and Fraser Forster and McCarthy. He's definitely an improvement. Has to be.
Well, when you put it like that,
Even if he's only got one arm, he's got to be a better goalkeeper than either of those two.
Yeah.
They're the two worst goalkeepers
another
I've ever seen in the Premier League, and that says a lot because there's been some shite. Taibbi, for instance, but I would say Forster and McCarthy have shown themselves to be worse than him.
They've also brought in Romeo Lavia from Manchester City's academy.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about him, but they paid a big fee for him for an 18-year-old. Over 10 million.
Who's never played any significant minutes as well.
Exactly.
Probably never even played actually in the Premier League for Man City.
Yeah, I don't think he has played in the Premier League for them. I mean, they spent over 10 million. It's a record fee for a teenager for Southampton to paid on a teenager. So yeah, they obviously think they've got something there. Be interesting to see if they're right.
And they also have another goalkeeper coming in as well.
Yeah, but I think he's
Matthias
just
Lees.
I think he's just to take the backup spot, to be honest. So they don't have to pick
on or free is a decent move, I would say, because he's supposed to be a backup.
Yeah, exactly.
Look
at them, and I still think if they had a decent manager who was going to play the players in the right positions, you know, and had a plan to know what to do with them and stuff, I think Southampton will be fine. Looking at their squad, they're not great, but they're not going to be a relegation battler. But while Hasenhüttl's in charge, and the way he fiddles about with the team and doesn't seem to know where players, what the player's best position is, doesn't seem to pick on any, there's no picking on merit there. He just seems to pick who he feels like picking from day to day, and he changes this. When a system's working well, he changes it for no damn reason and stuff. I can see them. I just can't see them doing well at all, no matter who they buy.
And they've also about to finalize the deal for Joe Aribo from Rangers.
Aribo from Rangers, good point. I've forgotten about that one. Yeah.
Is he a good player?
Well, the Rangers fans think he's brilliant. So.
Well, on him, I was thinking, like, when we discussed Romeo Lavia, I was thinking he's gonna cost about 6-7 odd million, and he's a seasoned campaigner when you compare him to Romeo Lavia.
Yeah, but it's 6-7 million plus add-ons, so it might end up being.
But even with add-ons, he's not gonna cost as much as Lavia.
No, it's not. It's a very strange one. They say he's clever, he can be very inconsistent, but they reckon he's got great feet and that. I think it's by the way they describe him, he sounds a bit like an Eze type player, where he can have moments of brilliance and be great in But great in a highlight reel, and you think what a player when you see the highlights. But then when you watch a 90-minute game, you just think half the time he doesn't seem to even be on the pitch. You know.
But they still need goals in the team. That's the issue.
He does. He does seem to score goals. I mean, he scored in the Europa League final. So he's obviously a big game player.
But was it like eight goals and 5 or 6 assists? I know that would probably be like top scorer for Southampton, but still you need more goals.
Yeah, well, it's a different.
Or at least they need Adam Armstrong to fire.
Yeah.
Which,
Of course, Shea Adams.
which doesn't look as.
At least they've still got Theo Walcott, so.
And Shane Long as well, I think. Or Shane Long as well, or has he moved on?
No, he's gone now. He's about 45 years old. He's finally gone. But they've still got Nathan Redmond, who's a fan favourite there, a massive fan favourite. They absolutely love seeing him in the team. And if you don't get that, if you don't realise that's sarcasm, I apologize.
Guardiola's favorite.
Probably should.
Yeah.
They,
No, Guardiola's favorite player.
Oh, awful player.
You do know that I sometimes edit the Southampton pages as well.
Oh, do you? I didn't know you'd seen that. It's just you just really think, oh my god. Yeah.
So anyways, next up, Tottenham.
I was just going to say one thing with that Aribo and Lavia thing as well. One of the things you got to consider, Aribo was going into his last year of contract, whereas Lavia wasn't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
fact.
that was what made the real difference, I think. It's like, last year of contract, you get them on the cheap, don't you? Anyway, move on to Spurs. They brought in Fraser Forster, for fuck's sake. I mean, God's sake. I was just thinking how well they'd done in the window. And then I remembered that. Like, oh God.
Well, just before we move on to the rivals, Cameron Carter-Vickers, his move to Celtic has been confirmed.
Yeah, he was on loan there last season.
Yeah, he was on loan there.
So.
And Pierluigi Golini has gone back to Atalanta and is about to sign for Fiorentina. Yeah, I think he's about to sign for Fiorentina now.
Yeah. And Bergwijn's
So
about to go.
Yeah, Bergwijn to Ajax is about to be completed.
And obviously, they're
30 million.
to offload Harry Winks to anybody who's stupid enough to take him.
But who is gonna take him now? Like, if even Everton aren't stupid enough, then who else?
I think Everton would have taken him if they could have afforded him. That's a bizarre thing. They just haven't got the money, have they? They had to sell Richarlison and take every single penny of it. They couldn't afford to give any up. They're really in FFP trouble, so.
But is it a good thing or a bad thing, eh?
Well, I think
But
they got
he can't
lucky not
find-
getting Harry Winks.
Yeah.
I don't get how he's managed to survive there so long. I really don't. It's no wonder Conte wants rid of him straight away. So what do you think of their ins? Obviously their outs isn't. They haven't really weakened themselves at all, have they? And
Okay, I'm gonna
they
go.
just didn't even play, so.
I'm gonna go one by one. Richarlison. I'm just gonna give very brief. Richarlison. Why? What's the point? For so much money, why? He's not gonna start for you. If he does, then Conte might just need to get his head checked because he's nowhere near the quality of Son, Kane, or even Kulusevski.
I really like
Ibasuma,
Kulusevski.
good move.
Mm.
Ibasuma, good move. and comes relatively cheap in today's market as well.
Yeah.
Premier League experience in a position of need, very good move. Ivan Perisic, free transfer, knows Conte. Conte wanted him, probably gonna play left wing back. A good pickup.
The
Would
only
have
thing,
preferred. I would have preferred Philip Kostic instead of him, but a good pickup.
well, you got to say his age, adapted to the Premier League could be an issue. That's the only worry you'd have of him. 33.
Yeah, but but they still have Ryan Sessegnon on the books.
Hmm.
So it's basically he should be the Sergio Reguilon replacement for Conte because Conte doesn't seem to like him as well.
Well,
Doesn't seem
crap.
to fancy him. Fraser Forster, it's your favorite goalkeeper, so maybe you should take that one. And then a bunch of loan players returning. And Dombele, they probably want to get rid. Lo Celso, they probably want to get rid. Villarreal seem to want him. Brian Hill. Conte is not the type of manager to nurture those players, those kind of players. And he just doesn't seem ready for the rigors of Premier League just yet. And then there's this guy, Pape Matar. Don't know how good and how ready he is yet.
He won't
So,
find out
completed
until
the
Conte
job.
either, will he?
He's too young for Conte.
Hmm. Yeah, Conte likes experience rather than youngsters. So.
Oh, maybe Conte is gonna go after Conte.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good. We look at their squad. If they didn't have Conte in charge, but I mean, they've had to sign Longley, haven't they, from Barcelona, which is a bizarre move.
He's
Explain that one to
very
me.
slow and very clumsy from what I can remember.
Yeah, every time I've watched him, he's looked abysmal. I couldn't understand how he got in the Barcelona team, even at their worst. But I don't understand what Conte's seeing in him. I really don't. I can understand why he wanted that Guardiola, though. He's a fabulous player, but Longley, no. And they've got Romero. Sanchez isn't really good enough. I get that. Dyer isn't good enough. I get that. And he's not going to develop Tanganga and Rodon, so they've got to bring somebody in. I understand that, but I don't think it's good. I don't get it. For me, I don't think it's a good choice. But, they've got Conte in charge and he can drag, a poor team to a league title.
I think for Conte, Spurs have a very good build because Conte can organize a team to be very solid defensively, the midfield to be a worker. He struggles with getting the most out of the attack from the get-go.
Yeah.
And Spurs have an attack that is on just on the basis of attack. They have a front three that can challenge for the title.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a good team there. Good.
He's got a team suited to him, and he's also got the owner by his hand, so he can do whatever he wants, or he can just threaten to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's one of those that he won't be there much longer anyway. So it's just a matter of whether he sees out the season as to whether they've got a chance. I can certainly see them being the team that pushes. If anybody pushes to get into, to be nearest the top two, I can see them being the ones that push for third out of the teams. Definitely. Do think there's a gap there in quality between Man City and Liverpool and Spurs, but I do think what they've done has put them in.
Ahead of Chelsea?
Well, Chelsea haven't been able to sign anyone. They've got no defence, and you look at what And the signing of players like Sterling doesn't exactly fill you with confidence in that they're going to be a threat, do they?
When you already have Warner, you don't need someone who can do the same
Yeah.
job.
Exactly.
When one of your biggest issues is scoring the goals.
You know, he scored the second most goals since Pep Guardiola's been at Man City. He scored the second most goals for Man City after Aguero, 120 to 124 for Aguero. And you're thinking, Raheem Sterling has scored that many, and yet he can't strike the ball. How does he do it? It's unreal. Good move.
Like someone else, it's not my take, it's someone else saying it. But at Man City, he had Kevin De Bruyne supplying him the chances. He had Joao Cancelo creating the chances. The team is built around cutbacks.
David
At Chelsea,
Silva.
will he get? Yeah, at Chelsea, will he get the same? Will he get the same level of chances, same level of creativity?
Yeah, that's true. That's a fair point. I don't see it as the right signing for them. I mean, I do think he's a decent player, but I don't think he's what they needed. But, you know,
Why
good
are
for
we
him.
talking about Sterling when we are
Yeah, sorry.
talking about?
Spurs, I mean, like I said, I think they could well be the third. You know, they've got a good chance. They've given themselves a chance of fighting for third, unless Longlay's first choice. In which case, I can see them disappointing.
Well, next up is West Ham United.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of them. I mean, Downs looks a bit of a Declan Rice replacement for me. Sorry, we should do outs first, shouldn't we? Fredericks, good riddance, he's crap. Yarmolenko never turned up for them. Noble, he was past it anyway, he hardly played anymore. David Martin, he was backup keeper and never really played for them, so not gonna have missed him.
And Alex Kral as well. He's left.
I don't even remember him playing for them. Honestly, can't remember him at all. Can you?
Well, I remember seeing him play a few times.
And yeah, I don't remember.
Let's not say few, I think a lot. 2-3 times, and he was just another yellow card walking.
Ah, right.
The slow at getting to the tackle and all those things. That was my impression. I don't know how he fared. I don't know how much he even got to play. But he wasn't that impressive whenever I watched him play. Granted, it was mostly sub appearances for him.
So no loss then.
Shouldn't be. They should be able to replace his minutes. Maybe with someone from the academy, or maybe even Downs can replace
Downs
him.
will take them minutes, I would think. Downs looks good signing. He's comfortable on the ball. He's a bit of a feisty player, sort of thing. Areola, I think it's a strange one to make permanent. I don't understand him. I have to say it quietly because I'm in the Philippines and he's half Filipino. Well, I think his mother's Filipino. So, you know, you know, have to be careful what I say, but he's not very good, let's be honest. Is he?
But isn't he a World Cup winner?
Yes, but he's from the bench.
I
But
am
like
pretty sure.
Loris, yeah, and Loris was the winner, so like that says it all about goalkeeping, really. Doesn't have to be the best goalkeeper, does it? Let's be honest. But yeah, I suppose as a backup, it just seems a bit pointless. I don't know this guard at all. Do you?
He played for Rennes.
Yeah.
He's a decent player. I think he's a good pickup, but I have concerns about his ability to handle the physicality. Basically, I am concerned whether he might just be another, Victor Lindelof.
Right.
Good, but just not suited enough for the league.
which would be strange for Moyes, because he normally likes physical defenders.
Well, maybe I just have it the wrong way around.
No, I mean, you know, it could be. I'm just saying it's not the Moyes way to go for defenders that aren't. He likes his one, you know, he likes them to be physical players. You know, the Kurt Zuma type rather than ball players.
Yeah, but he's comfortable with the ball at his feet. That is all I'm gonna say.
Be interested to see how he gets on. Thing I just don't understand why they haven't bought anybody for the attack yet. I mean, that's what they're missing more than anything. And yet still,
Yeah, they need a backup. They need a backup.
well,
Not a backup. They just need another striker. They
they
need
need forward.
someone to
full
back.
stop.
Yeah.
They've got nobody to
Yeah,
play wide. They've got nobody to play up front. They've got basically three actual strikers, you know, forwards in Benrahma, Bowen, and Antonio, and that is their entire attack basically, apart from Fornals and Vlasic and Lanzini, which are all attacking midfielders really. Yeah, they.
They're looking to bring in Jesse Lingard, and he's the Messiah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they should have given up on him. He's obviously going to go off to the States.
Sometimes teams just need to take the hint. Okay, last season he had the excuse of trying to get a place in his childhood team and all that. But even if now he's playing them around and not convinced, then there's no point going after him, still pursuing him, because you gave him the chance. You gave him the chance when he was doing nothing. He played well for you, so he has a relation if you wanted to continue. If he doesn't, then just move on. Don't waste your time.
They should have moved on a long time ago. They don't. He's not really what they need anyway. They need an out-and-out striker. Because Antonio's not really a striker anyway. Browyer's the one they're linked with now. I can see that.
They should have been the one going for Divock already.
I could see that. Yeah, that would be a good shout for them. But I don't know if Origi would have been interested, to be honest. I mean, there's been a lot of rumours linking them with Danjuma as well.
But Danjuma doesn't seem convinced.
No, and they look likely to lose Diop from their defence. Right, so Agger swap for Diop basically seems to be the defensive thing. But yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why they've not brought in a striker of some kind. They just need somebody, and they've even lost Yarmolenko, who could cover there at least, because he played striker for his country all the time. So yeah, I just don't get the thinking there. Really should have been done by now. Yeah, I mean, they've got to buy somebody. But who?
They need depth. They need depth because they also have Europa Conference League to contend with next season.
Exactly. And they were caught out last year. They were struggling. Players were tiring and that. You could see it. Yeah, I don't know. And I think this is the same for the next team, you know, the final team as well. When we go on to we're going on to Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think they're in a similar situation where they need depth. They've lost a lot of players. They've lost Vinagre. I mean, you know, okay, these aren't players that were first choice players. Roman Size, Marcel's left. John Ruddy, yeah,
Keane Hoover.
Keeper, but they've lost.
Keane Hoover is also.
Yeah, he's only gone on loan, and Morgan's gone on loan. But like, you know, if they can come back is the thing with them. But they've lost a lot of players, and the only thing they brought in is Swang. They've made his loan permanent, and Traore's come back off his loan to Barcelona, and he still wants to leave. And players like, I mean, I think. When does Campagna comes back in at the end of the MLS season, isn't it? That'll be December. That'll be January before he's back. So Bonatini will be back.
They have a few players.
No.
They have a few players who they always farm out on loan. They neither manage to sell them nor manage to get them back into the squad, back into the team. The likes of Patrick Cutrone. He should not. If you don't see a pathway for him into the team, then why are you farming him out on loan here, there, and everywhere?
Yeah, well, I think he wants to go.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there. I think that is a big issue for them.
The latest rumour is Fabio Silva going out as well on loan, which should be a good
Yeah, on loan to the next.
We're
already struggling. We're already struggling with depth. You signed a player when he's only 18 just to make sure that he can help you out in future with homegrown quotas as well.
Exactly.
And then you start.
So we
Find a
can't be
club in the league, in the Premier League, the Championship, or somewhere in England.
I can only think that they've seen no future for him, but like I thought, yeah, I think that's a bit early to give up on someone. He's only 19. And Neves wants to go to Barcelona, if Barcelona can afford him. So he'll stay. He'll probably end up staying simply because they can't afford him. But you know, it's like he's not that bothered about being there. Morgan Gibbs-White seems to want to go. There's a lot of interest in him. They have got Jose Sardo. What a keeper he is. And Kilman looks a talent. Well, you do fear for them. Can be good, yeah. I mean, he was brilliant against Salah. I don't know what he was like the rest of the season, but he was fantastic against Salah. Probably the best I've seen him played, to be honest. Yeah, but they just desperately need strengthening, don't they? Raul Jimenez looks a shadow of the player he once was. Hwang just looked to have faded. He started off well initially and then just seemed to fade. Yeah, I can see them. They need to sign players basically. They need to strengthen, or they're going to struggle. I don't know why Gibbs-White's got so much interest in him. Is he that good? Because he's never looked good whenever I've seen him play in the Premier League, but he obviously did something right out on loan last season.
Well, they need like a lot of the teams, they need depth and they need some quality as well.
If they can keep Otto fit, you know, then they've got Aït-Nouri plays the same position, so it's not really a position in need. But not that they've missed him up until. Semedo's starting to look the part as well, but they want to go to a back four, I think, which is a worry. So I'm not sure they've got the players for a back four, have they?
And Cody isn't ideal for a back four either.
No, he's not.
Maybe they want to move him back into midfield, but why would you try and fix something that's not broken yet?
I mean, for me, I think watching them last season, I thought they were unlucky at the beginning of the season. They played some really good stuff. Lads got them playing attacking football, and then they didn't get the results early on, and he seemed to bottle it and just go back.
If I remember correctly, they lost their 3 opening fixtures. One of them was against Spurs, and the other one was against us. Both games, they were far and away the better teams.
Yeah.
I'm just going from what my memory says, but
I know I remember similar. That's exactly how I remember it.
At least against us, they were the much better team. They should have been 3 goals up. And then we got lucky and scraped a goal in and won the game. So they were quite unlucky to begin with last season.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm worried about them, to be honest. Because unless he has the balls to just stay with his principles and actually go for it, I can see them struggling. They just don't really possess any quality in it, other than they've got. Moutinho was good, but he looking like he was really struggling last season. Ruben Neves.
He's getting on a bit. He's just getting on a bit. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
he's 35. You know, you can't. What you're looking for is some of the younger players to step up. Really, you know, the Jordeos, the Cundles, Connor Ronan, Morgan Gibbs White, and that, and Pedro Neto, Chiquinho, Podent. Podent's 26 actually. Sorry, take that back. I'll leave him out of the young ones to step up then. And I would have said Fabio Silva as well, but like, yeah, I don't know what to think of them, really, to be honest. They've got some good young players there. Maybe they're thinking clearance. Maybe they're just trying to clear space for them to give them a chance to develop. That's why they're letting players go.
Or maybe they're in a bit of financial problem as well.
Well, Fosun are, but because they can't get money out of China, can they, at the moment? So it comes down to Wolves having to be self-sufficient, but they should have some money to spend. I mean, they surely got to be a profitable team. They're not. It's not like they spend big. I mean, what did they spend last season? No.
Not a lot, I would say.
Yeah. 21, 22.
The Sa was a bargain. Singha was a loan.
Because Sa was 7 million.
Aït-Nouri.
10 million for Aït-Nouri, 5 million loan fee for Trincao. I mean, overall they spent about 30 odd million, 35 million. They only brought in 28 million, 29 million. So yeah, they didn't exactly bring in a lot, did they? That's the thing. They're losing players, but they're not actually bringing in big money. That's the issue, isn't it? But again, this season they've only sold Vinagre, the only player they've actually gained money for. Maybe that's the issue then, that they're just not profitable. Because they're bringing in players, they're not actually making much. They could really do with offloading Traore, let's be honest. I mean, that player, he must be on a decent wage. What does he offer them? I know he gets the fans off their seats, like, but it just doesn't do enough, does he? And Barca dumped him pretty quickly after he got in the team, looked good for a couple of weeks, and then just was a disaster after that, and they soon dropped him to the bench and didn't play him again, didn't they? And they've shown absolutely no interest in signing him on a permanent basis, even though he was willing to take a huge pay cut and basically pretty much play for free, wasn't he? Yeah. And that says it all about his quality, to be honest. I don't think struggle is in relegation struggle, but I can't see them pulling up any trees. You haven't fallen asleep as well, have you? I think you have as well. Bloody hell. I think that's what we're going to call it anyway, but like, yeah, it didn't expect you to fall asleep as well. So I'll have to end it myself. So we'll see you next Thursday from me, Deeps, and Rob, who's gone already because he said his phone was dying, but I think he just fell asleep, let's be honest. So take care, thank you for listening, anybody that's got this far. See you next Thursday.